Good evening and welcome to the Commentary coverage of the Premier League encounter between Luton Town and Arsenal here across the Commentary. We're also live on Commentary 2 JB Sports, Focus on Football, and my very own personal Twitch channel, Russ P. Vernon _92. We're on air on Sunday for a 4-hour slot. Today is just a regular slot. We've just got the one game bringing you the commentary on this evening. We have currently got on in the studio where I am. Wolves against Burnley, currently 0-0, as Burnley just come forward against Wolves at the moment. With a full bit of play from Burnley. Can the striker get a goal? If can't, he's just over the top from Will Lawson, who was amongst the scorers for Burnley in the 5-0 win over Sheffield United at the weekend. I'll keep you up to date with that, and Paul will when we go across for coverage of Luton against Arsenal. Speaking of Paul, we can go across to him now as the team loser is in for our featured match. And before we do that, let's just say, before you give out the team news, Paul, how are you doing today, mate? You okay?
Yes, good evening, Ross. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Yes, really good, thank you. Just watching the game here is Burnley. The Burnley game is Burnley making a substitution in their game against Wolves. Kolyosho coming off for Goodmanson. Doesn't look like an injury, maybe a tactical switch from Vincent Kompany after 35 minutes. They're still 0-0. I thought I'd just mention that to you, Paul, as I know you are a Burnley fan, but very neutral when you do the commentaries on Burnley as well. So very good of you there, my friend. Well, you've got the team news for the main match between Luton and Arsenal. Would you like to tell us that, please?
Yes, of course. So starting with Luton Town, there's 4 changes. Now, Lockyer is out at the moment. Tom Lockyer has a back injury that he's not been able to shake off. So Gabriel Osho comes in his place. Ogbene has been relegated to the bench, and in his place is Jacob Brown. Chong is also out. He's been relegated to the bench. And in for Chong is Andros Townsend. Now, also Carlton Morris is relegated to the bench, but Elijah Adebayo comes in his stead, making 4 changes for the Hatters today. 3 changes for the Gunners. Alexander Zinchenko goes to the bench and Jakub Kiwior comes in. And Tommy Yasu has a calf injury, so he's being replaced by Ben White. Leandro Trossard drops to the bench and Kai Havertz comes in his place. Last time Arsenal won at Kenilworth Road was 14th of January 1984 with a 2-1 victory, and of course this is the first ever victory in the league between these two sides in the Premier League era. Back to you, Russ.
Yes, thank you very much, Paul. So the first game of the Premier League era coming up in Luton against Arsenal for a very long time. Should be a good game, this one. I think Luton have played some good stuff at home, got a point against Liverpool at Kenilworth Road. Kenilworth Road is a tough place to go. It's a really small ground, so the fans are on top of you when you're playing at Kenilworth Road. I've seen it in quite a few matches of Luton playing there in previous seasons in the Championship, and how small it is, and from when watching them on the TV as well. I think this is what Luton will probably try and play on, and the pitch has been a bit bobbly of late as well, which could force Arsenal to play their proper game and could make Arsenal try and change the tactics a bit. If not, maybe 1 or 2 Arsenal players may pick up some injuries, but we'll keep you informed of that or forwards. Burnley have a strike on goal in their game against Wolves, and then Rodriguez, which was said by Burnley, come out to Brownhill in their game, and his shot was pushed behind by Burnley, 0-0. Burnley starting to go on top of the cupboard in their game. But back to this one then, Paul, there's a few changes. Ogbene drops to the bench, as you mentioned. Tom Lockyer out with injury, went off at half time. And when I was speaking to Molly, who was what Molly summed to on the review show yesterday, she saw the game against Brentford of the weekend. She said he was a big miss for Luton at the weekend. With that in mind, how big a task do you think it'll be then for Luton without Tom Lockyer tonight?
Oh, it's a Herculean task whether they've got Tom Lockyer or not. Luton's form has been pretty poor. It has to be said. Now, they have picked up the victory over Crystal Palace, but defeats to Brentford, Villa, Manchester United, they did do well to get a draw, but they're facing an in-form Arsenal team, top of the league, won their last 5 games, and have a goals against average of 0.79. That is stingy. And of course, Luton Town's offense is very narrow at best, 0.93 goals for. So they have got a massive challenge today against the league leaders. And Arsenal will be desperate to try to extend that lead over City, given that they were unable to pick up all 3 points against Spurs on Sunday.
Yes, obviously, Paul, you mentioned there about Arsenal looking to extend the lead even further to over Manchester City, and City don't play until tomorrow when they take on Aston Villa in the Premier League. One of six matches taking place on Wednesday. You can see those matches going across the bottom, including the latest score at Molineux between Wolverhampton Wanderers and Burnley. When you look at Arsenal, then I was getting feedback from the Wolves Arsenal game of the weekend, and Mike was saying, one of our colleagues, Mike Oliver, was saying to us that Alexander Zinchenko was at fault and was the one which was going to cause Arsenal, if they weren't going to get the 3 points in that one, get all 3 points in that one. With that in mind, then, Paul, what sort of game do you think Arteta is looking at from Jakub Kivior coming in at left back this evening?
Well, he may be wanting the same sort of thing that Zinchenko does. Zinchenko likes to get forward and create chances. He's not what I would call a stay-at-home defenseman. He very much likes to get into advanced positions and create chances for Martinelli, Jesus, and Saka. So it's I don't know whether Kiwior will be able to fulfil that role just as well, but we'll see.
We will see indeed, Paul. Just a real quick one. Tomiyasu is out. How big a blow do you think that will be for Arsenal's game tonight and their potential, depending on how long he's going to be out for, their potential title charge? Because he's been a key player for them this season.
Yes, he has, and he's been very good defensively. He's aided and abetted in that watertight Arsenal defence. So he's going to be a big miss. But they've got Ben White, they've got Jakub Kiwior. I think William Saliba is a big key to that Arsenal defence. So it should be interesting to see how this plays out today. Looks like Arsenal are in their change strip today, but this is going to be a very, very interesting game.
Indeed, Paul. Indeed, my friend. Coming to us half time in the Wolves game, still 0-0 between Wolves and Burnley. Just to say that Wolves on the attack. Can Wolves score here? That's us. Maggie Chan, 1-0 Wolves. Just before half time, poor defensive play from Burnley. Gave the ball away inside the penalty on the left hand side. Ball was played across from left to right of Wolves' side, Burnley's right to left, and Wang Yi-chan gives Wolves a 1-0 lead on the 42nd minute. Poor from Burnley defensively, a well taken goal from Wolves nevertheless here in the game between Wolves and Burnley. Right then, the teams out on the pitch ready for kick-off in the match between Luton Town and Arsenal. That gives me the pleasure to hand over to match commentator to guide you through the first half. He's over to Paul James.
Thank you, Ross. Good evening, everybody. Let's begin with the team news, shall we? For Luton Town, they have Thomas Kaminski in goal, Amari Bell, Gabriel Osho, and Tiden Mengi make up the centre-backs. Alfie Doherty, Ross Barkley, Peli Ruddock and Panzu is the captain. Isha Kabori make up the midfielders. There's two attacking midfielders in Andros Townsend and Jacob Brown. And the centre forward is Alicia Adebayo. And for Arsenal, they line up as follows with David Raya in goal. The back four, Jakub Kiwior, Gabriel, William Saliba, Ben White. The three midfielders, Kai Havertz stepping in on left midfield, Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard, the captain. Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus and Bukayo Saka make up the front three. The substitutes for Luton Town are Tim Krul, Joe Johnson, Tahith Chong, Jordan Clark, Ryan Giles, Zach Nelson, Chiadozie Ogbene, and Carlton Morris. For Arsenal, it is Aaron Ramsdale, Cedric Suarez, Alexander Zinchenko, Ruel Walters, Mohamed El Neni, Eddie Nketiah, 5 goals for him this season, Leandro Trossard, and Reece Nelson. And Arsenal will be wearing their illuminous yellow shirts with the black stripes, the black shorts, and the black socks with the yellow trim. Luton in their home jerseys of orange with the white stripe. Our referee today is Samuel Barrett. He's aged 30, from West Riding in Yorkshire. It is Samuel was promoted to the select group of referees for the start of this season and took charge of his first game on October the 7th between Fulham and Sheffield United. He has taken charge of one game this season involving Luton Town, their 1-1 draw at Nottingham Forest. He's refereed 15 games in all competitions this season, shown 56 yellow cards, 2 reds, and he's not been shy at pointing to the spot. He's awarded 5 penalties this season. He's joined on the lines by Harry Leonard and Nick Hopkin. 4th official is Darren Bond. Chris Kavanagh is in VAR, along with Lee Betts. And Samuel Bettis about to get the game underway. Arsenal will be attacking the goal to our left and get this game underway with the long ball from David Raya, which is headed away there by Mengi, and just headed on there and cleared away. And just intercepting this is Gabriel Martinelli. Good work by him. He plays the ball forward looking for Jesus. Mengi comes across and makes a good challenge. And it's just then headed away there by Mpanzu, the captain. Mengi comes in and clears that ball away. And it's won back there by Declan Rice. Good work by him. He drops the ball back there to William Saliba, who gives it to Gabriel. Gabriel just drops the ball back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. David Raya plays the ball down this near side to Jacob Kiwior. Jacob Kiwior pulls into the middle of the park and he just gives the ball to Martin Odegaard. Over on the far side to Ben White, over to Bukayo Saka. Saka gives it back to White and Saka gets the ball back. It's on the halfway line now with Odegaard. Odegaard drops the ball back to Gabriel. Gabriel holds the ball up here. It's just delaying on what he's going to do. There's a bit, it was nearly intercepted there by Adebayo, and Gabriel had to just hoof the ball forward, and Gabriel Jesus is not able to reach that. It just goes all the way through to Thomas Kaminski, the Belgian goalkeeper. So these two teams have actually played each other 48 times. Luton Town have won 10, Arsenal have won 27, and there has been 11 draws. The first meeting was actually way back on October the 2nd in 1897 in League Division 2. Luton Town lost 2-0 to the then Woolwich Arsenal. And some of the news events from 1897: on May 26, Dracula by Irish author Bram Stoker is published. And on November the 1st, Italian football club Juventus FC is founded by students in Turin as Sports Club Juventus. And here is Martinelli. Martinelli just trying to cut inside 2 Luton players there. It's brought down by Kabori, and it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. Stray leg there by Kabori. And you could see there Andros Townsend was coming in for the sandwich as well. But as it happens, our referee today has called a free kick. Our referee, Samuel Barrett, his first year in the Premier League. And good luck to him, because we need some really consistent and good officiating with some perhaps fresh ideas. Free kick is now for Arsenal, which Declan Rice is now over this following the foul. It's over by the touchline on the left-hand side. Declan Rice just playing a game or two here. He's going to launch it into the box now. And there's a header up into the air. And it's just headed away there by Mpanzu. And the ball goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal. And it's Gabriel Jesus who takes it quickly, but the referee has stopped play. Ross Barkley is down right now. He's just getting onto his feet now, so this throw-in will have to be taken again. Just a challenge behind there from Martin Odegaard and then clashed into Kai Havertz, but he's okay now. The free kick is taken quickly. And it's Saliba who plays it across to Ben White. Ben White goes all the way back to David Raya in the Arsenal goal. It's a massive challenge for Luton today. With all of their problems in the Premier League and doing their best to survive, they now have to take on the top of the league in Arsenal, who are in a rich vein of form. And Martinelli has gone down clutching his back, and he looks in a lot of pain. Not sure what caused that. Let's see. Martinelli, right into the back of him there was Isha Kabori. So it's going to be, Martinelli is down right now. The physio is on. We've got a stoppage in play. You're listening to alternative commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Today's player of the match is sponsored by Commentary Services. Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports, Focus on Football and Storm FM. Don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. The score at Molineux is still Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Burnley 0 there. We'll update you if anything changes at Molineux. Martinelli is now just being helped to his feet. He still looks in a lot of pain. He's barely able to move. This will be a concern for Mikel Arteta. He's just looking on with a great deal of concern at the moment. And Gabriel Jesus has gone over to his fellow countryman, and they're just helping him onto his feet. It's actually half-time at Molineux, and it's Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Burnley 0 there. No real surprise, it has to be said, as Martinelli just comes off, clutching his back there. You can only hope that it's perhaps an impact injury and not something more serious. Excuse me. But there's a free kick, in fact, to Wolves. It's going to be taken. To Luton. It's going to be taken by Alfie Doherty. This is just inside the Arsenal half. He launches it long. It's a disappointing one, and it's hacked into the air by Kai Havertz. He didn't really clear it very well. It's headed on by Saka, and again by Jesus, but it's picked up by Ross Barkley here, just turning away from Odegaard. Very smart there. Here's Townsend, and he's dispossessed by Kai Havertz, and Havertz is away. Havertz just slips the ball to Odegaard, and Odegaard tries to find Saka. Saka is not going to reach that as quick as he is. He's not going to reach that pass. It's wayward by Odegaard and goes out for a throw-in. But that was a promising break for Arsenal. And the throw-in is going to be taken level with the penalty area. And it's cleared forward there. But at the back and looking after that is Gabriel. And Gabriel Martinelli is back on the pitch now. He still seems to be moving a little bit gingerly. The Arsenal physio team and Mikel Arteta will have to watch that carefully. And is Declan Rice. Declan Rice gives the ball to Gabriel. Gabriel plays the ball forward. Now he's chasing Martinelli. Martinelli picks up the ball there. And he's got Mengi in front of him, but he gets across it and he finds Saka. Saka drops it back to Ben White inside the penalty area. Bukayo Saka crosses the ball in, and it's just headed out again by Mengi. And now Ross Barkley can come away now for Luton Town. And he drops it back to the goalkeeper, Kaminski, instead. And Kaminski will go long downfield here. And just chasing that one now is the number 19, Jacob Brown. Brown, he's got White in front of him. And Brown then, he was looking for Alfie Doherty, but he wasn't able to find him. And the ball just goes behind for a goal kick as Rob Edwards looks on. And it has to be said, given Luton Town's position, what a wonderful job Rob Edwards has done at Luton Town to have them in the position that they're in. And it's the goal kick now to be cleared downfield. We've got win percentage sitting at 74% for Arsenal, 10% for Luton. The stats are against them as well. And here's Jesus now. Now, Gabriel Jesus, he's got Martinelli up there with him, edge of the penalty area. Jesus, drop back to Declan Rice. Rice gives the ball there to Kyria. Good work by Kyria. He finds Gabriel. Gabriel gives the ball to Odegaard. Odegaard on the far side to Ben White, who finds Bukayo Saka. He's got Doherty in front of him as Saka. What can he do? He drops it back to Ben White. And Ben White gives the ball to William Saliba. And it's back to White again, and White plays an ambitious ball forward, looking for Jesus, and Jesus just dispossessed it that time by Doherty. Doherty's clearance isn't good enough, though, and finds Martin Odegaard. And now Bukayo Saka's inside the penalty area. Good work by Doherty, though. Manages to just shield off Bukayo Saka, and it goes back to the goalkeeper. And it's cleared downfield now, and it's with William Saliba for Arsenal. And Saliba just gives the ball there to Gabriel. Gabriel finds Jacob Kiwior, and he's under pressure there by Andros Townsend and Ross Barkley. And he does go down very easily there, and I think he's sold the referee something now. Let's have a look. Oh, he might have been clipped. It looked like he went down very easily, but he actually might have been clipped there, to be fair, by Ross Barkley. And it's going to be a free kick to the Arsenal, and we have 9 minutes gone here, and it's Luton Town 0, Arsenal 0 at Kenilworth Road. Last victory for Arsenal, Kenilworth Road, of course, was in 1984, and that is going back a long stretch. But 1984, 14th of January, 2-1 victory at Kenilworth Road on the old plastic pitch, as Saka now goes down, and he's clutching the base of his ankle. He looks in a little bit of pain as well. And that was a challenge by Doherty. And free kick to Arsenal just inside their own half of the field. On the right-hand side by the touchline. Ben White takes it and drops it back. And there's on this action on the Luton bench, they're looking at something. And they're all very busy over there looking at the computer at what might be going on there. And here's Ben White. Ben White, good challenge that time by Mengi. Goes out of play. It's going to be a throw into Arsenal. And it's going to be taken by Ben White over on the right-hand side. Ben White takes it quickly. He just drops it back there to William Saliba, and he gives it to Gabriel. Back to Saliba. Saliba just trying to turn away from Adebayo and plays the ball forward, looking for Jesus, but that's a fantastic interception by Brown. And now Luton can come forward, and the ball is out on the far side to Kabori, and Kabori slips at the vital moment, and Kiwior comes across and knocks the ball out of play. It's going to be a throw into Luton, which will be taken by Kabori. Kabori throws the ball back to Mengi. Mengi across the centre of defence to Osho, and Osho plays the ball long forward, but it's headed back into the Luton half of the field, and Amari Bell just drops the ball back to the goalkeeper as he releases it to Mengi, and Luton looking to break forward. Long, ambitious ball looking for Adebayo. Chest down really well by Adebayo, and he gives it to Brown. Brown back to the number 17, which is Mpanzu, the captain. Down the near side to Doherty. It's turned back now to Mpanzu again. Mpanzu across the field to Mengi. Mengi just holds the ball up, and he goes all the way back there to Bell. And Bell goes across to Osho. Osho just trying to turn away there from Martin Odegaard, but Bukayo Saka wins it back, but loses out to Doherty, and the referee has in fact called an infringement there, and it's going to be a free kick. Let's take a look here. Let's see what went on. Yes, the arm of Bukayo Saka came across Amari Bell there, and the free kick is taken quickly, but Arsenal have won the ball back. Odegaard just drops the ball back to Gabriel. Gabriel's got two Luton players in front of him, and it's cleared forward, and he's chased. There's nobody there. Martinelli was going in the opposite direction, and it goes all the way through to Kaminski, and he'll just take his time here. Arsenal have 66% possession already in the first 12 minutes of this game. It's 0-0, and Kenilworth Road is full, and you can see how tight Kenilworth Road is, as Russ pointed out at the top of the broadcast, just how close the fans are to the pitch here and what impact that will have on this game. And here's Mengi. Is he going to let this go through to Kaminski? No. Mengi is just going to, well, he does eventually send it back to the goalkeeper. And Kaminski is going to clear it right-footed downfield over the halfway line. Headed back into the Luton half there. And just knocked back there by Osho to the goalkeeper again. And once again, right-footed downfield by Kaminski. And it's flicked on there. He's looking for Adebayo. He's got to be sharp here as Saliba. Adebayo inside the penalty area. Can he get the cross in? Oh, good work by William Saliba, but he only gets it out as far as Doherty. Doherty back to Barkley. Barkley looking at what options he's got. Mpanzu alongside him. He decides to try to play the ball through there to Brown, but good work by William Saliba, just shielding the ball there, out of play. That was a good move by Ross Barkley, though. It was the right idea. Found Jacob Brown, but getting in front of Brown there was Saliba and just ushers that ball out of play. And it's going to be a goal kick. And David Raya, is he going to go for the short one? No, looks like he's going long downfield. Is David Raya, right-footed. Headed in the air by Kai Havertz. Martinelli challenging for the ball. He's not able to make a good challenge there. And Ross Barkley has Luton Town coming forward. He finds the ball on the far side to the number 19, Jacob Brown. Brown cutting inside the penalty area now. Can he get the cross in? Brown gets the cross in, but it's blocked. And it didn't go in. It comes back out to Doherty again. Doherty, can he get the cross in? Good interception that time by Ben White. And here is Bukayo Saka now for Arsenal. Saka just plays the ball across the penalty area to Gabriel. And Gabriel just slowing things down a little bit. He gives the ball to Declan Rice. Declan Rice just under pressure from Adebayo and gives the ball to Ben White. It's back now with William Saliba. 0-0 here. We have 15 minutes gone at Kenilworth Road. It's Luton Town 0, Arsenal 0. And so far, both sides lacking any real goal-scoring opportunity. You see Luton are not parking the bus, though. Here's Declan Rice. Declan Rice to Gabriel. Gabriel, they're pressing Arsenal back here at Luton really rather well. And here's Martin Odegaard now. Odegaard, can he try to get Arsenal out of their own half? And here's Gabriel. Plays the ball across to William Saliba. And plays the ball forward to Martinelli. Martinelli under pressure from Ross Barkley there. Just manages to keep possession, and it's back now with William Saliba. And it's Declan Rice. Martin Odegaard. Odegaard drops it back to Saliba. And just looking at what options he's got forward, he finds Odegaard as Arsenal struggling to get out their own half, but he plays a good ball there, does Odegaard, and he was looking for Kai Havertz. Kaminski is out of his goal, and Mengi just plays the ball forward, and a crunching challenge there. This time by Kabori, and Gabriel is down. He looks in some discomfort. Let's have a look at this. Oh, yes, it's Kabori right into Gabriel. There was no mercy on that challenge. It sent Gabriel spinning into the air. He's okay. He's on his feet. And here's William Saliba. Saliba plays the ball forward to Martinelli. Gives the ball to Declan Rice. And down this side to Kai Havertz. Havertz gives the ball to Gabriel Martinelli. Off goes Martinelli. He's under pressure by Kabori. But Kabori just gets his foot in there and makes a challenge on Martinelli, and it goes out for a throw-in. And that may have come off Martinelli last as well. Indeed, it has. So Kabori is going to take the throw-in for Luton Town here, level with his own penalty area. Launches the ball forward, and up there is Kai Havertz, but actually the ball goes out of play from the throw-in. So it's going to be a throw-in to Arsenal, and Gabriel receives the throw-in. And he just plays the ball across to William Saliba. Saliba to Declan Rice. Rice just turning away from Adebayo. Good work by Declan Rice, and gives the ball to Ben White. And Ben White fails to control that. And it goes out of play for a throw into Luton. He won't be pleased with that. The throw into Luton is also almost on the halfway line. And it's going to be Alfie Doherty to take it. Doherty's right bang on the halfway line. He just throws it down to Ross Barkley. It didn't look like a good throw, did that. And Ross Barkley is fouled, and it's going to be a free kick to Luton Town. A foul by Martin Odegaard, the Arsenal captain. And he's protesting, but it'd be as well just to leave it alone. This referee is not afraid of waving a card or two. And Osho gives the ball to Bell under pressure from Martin Odegaard. And again, the referee has penalised Martin Odegaard, so it's going to be a free kick. And it's midway inside the Luton half of the field. We'll get updates from Wolverhampton Wanderers as Ross is able to provide them to us for their game against Burnley at Molineux. Here's Amari Bell, just drops the ball back to Osho, and back to the goalkeeper Kaminski. Kaminski, right-footed, downfield. Just going up in the air there is Gabriel, but it's comfortably won by Jacob Brown. And it goes all the way back, though, to David Raya, and he clears the ball downfield. And headed on by Mpanzu. And just won there by Declan Rice. And the ball is played forward now to Bukayo Saka, just trying to keep the ball under pressure. Wow, he's under pressure by Doherty and Brown, but good turn by Bukayo Saka. He gives the ball to Declan Rice. They're really pressing a Luton, pushing Arsenal back. And it's William Saliba now. He plays the ball across to Kiwior. Kiwior knocks it back to Gabriel as Arsenal once again press back into their own half here. It's very interesting to see what Luton are doing here. And here is Gabriel. Gabriel gives the ball there to Kiwior, and Kiwior is dispossessed. And Luton have the ball back with Mengi, and Mengi just touches the ball to Bell, and Bell goes all the way back to Kaminski, and Kaminski is struggling because that ball was a bit wayward of Kaminski, and he's asked to knock the ball out to play for a throw-in to Arsenal. It's taken quickly, and here is Bukayo Saka, pulled back to Martinelli, and it's 1-0 to Arsenal. Gabriel Martinelli scores the goal that gives the Gunners the lead. And it falls on just about the 20th minute. Gabriel Martinelli. And, well, it started with the back pass by Mengi. And it had to be cleared out for a throw-in by Kaminski. You see it here. It was cleared back to the goalkeeper. Kaminski was able to get across there and prevent the corner. The throw-in was taken really quickly by Jesus. Bukayo Saka then gets on the end of that, pulls it back, and Martinelli level with the penalty area. Doesn't get a clean strike on it, but it's enough to roll past Kaminski into the corner and to give the Gunners the 1-goal lead at Kenilworth Road. And you see it there. It's not really the best strike by Martinelli at all, but it's enough. And he celebrates. Hasn't had many goals this season, Gabriel Martinelli. And that one is only his second Premier League goal of the season. And, well, it's now back with Kaminski. He clears the ball downfield. And it's headed on. And that's good work there. Across is a foul. It's a free kick. And it's on. It's for the foul on Kai Havertz. Just take a look at this. Kai Havertz just cuts across. Oh, and he takes the knock by Brown, I should say. Studs up a little bit there. He's no further action taken on Jacob Brown. Studs are up a little bit there though, but I don't think it was at all red card worthy. But it was a bit reckless. He's on his feet now. Is Kai Havertz. He's limping a little bit. That's another impact knock. Let's see if he's able to run that one off. The free kick is left for David Raya in the Arsenal goal. And David Raya will just be happy to take his time here. You're listening to Alternative Commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. The player of the match is sponsored by Commentary Services, and Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports, Focus on Football, and Storm FM. And don't forget, you can follow us on our Twitter page at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. And the throw-in is going to be taken by Ben White. White just plays the ball forward, and it's a good interception by Doherty, but his wayward pass only finds Kiwior. Kiwior drops it down to Gabriel Martinelli, the goal scorer. Martinelli drops it back to Kiwior again. He launches the ball in the middle. It's chested down by Jesus to Havertz, and it's a shot that's blocked and not ultimately cleared away very well, as Jesus has a shot, but it's no power on that shot whatsoever. And Kaminski is just able to fall to his left-hand side and make a very comfortable save. And Luton 0, Arsenal 1. 23 minutes gone at Kenilworth Road. And Luton's pressing certainly been interesting to watch, but they haven't really created anything. Got a comment in the comment section. Good stuff, James. Thanks, Joe. And here comes... it's back with Martinelli. Martinelli just drops the ball back to Declan Rice there. And Arsenal now, once again, will start from the back. It's given to Ben White. Ben White to Declan Rice. Declan Rice just drops the ball there to Gabriel. Gabriel just gives the ball to William Saliba. Saliba plays the ball forward, but Jesus is dispossessed that time by Osho. And here's Jacob Brown now on the left-hand side. Can he get the cross? And he can. It takes a deflection, though, and it goes behind for Luton's first corner of the game. In fact, the first corner of the game, I think. So it comes on the 24th minute, and Luton Town now, let's see what they can create from this corner to see if they can get themselves back into this game. And it is Alfie Doherty that's going to take it on the right-hand side. Corner for the Hatters. And they've got players in the box. And it's going to be Alfie Doherty. It's swung in. And there's a header! And it's in! It is Osho with the header! And it's 1-1! Well, Luton stunned the Gunners there. And the goal is by Gabriel Osho with the header. And it just looped away from David Raya on his right-hand side. And Luton Town are level. And, well, he just got above the defenders there. And, Luton are not rolling over. They want to win this game. And that was a very, 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 very good header. It was absolute hang time by Osho. Just got in between the two defenders. And there was enough power on that where Raya really didn't stand any chance. It was what you would call, or what we would know it as, a thumping header. It's 1-1. And David Raya got nowhere near that. And Luton Town are level at Kenilworth Road. And he celebrates on the far side and puts a different kettle of fish on this game now, really. So Osho's goal on 25 minutes is the game-tying goal, and Arsenal coming forward now with Martinelli. Martinelli drops the ball back there to Gabriel. We got more comments in the comment section. Looks like Joe Smoke seems very pleased with that. And it's Bukayo Saka, and he drops it back. And it's cleared downfield. So far as it stands at Molineux, it's still Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Burnley 0. And looking there at Mikel Arteta, this was not in his script, that's for sure. Throwing to be taken by Alfie Doherty, midway inside in the inside the Luton half of the field, and he throws the ball forward. It's headed on by Declan Rice, and again though by Doherty, and Martinelli trying to get in the way of that, but he was challenged by Mengi. Mengi's tackle on, he finds Declan Rice on. He now finds Martin Odegaard to Bukayo Saka, back to Ben White. Ben White sprays the ball over on the far side and headed on by Jacob Kiwior. Kiwior just knocks the ball on, and it's comfortably won back by Brown, but again it's won back by Bukayo Saka. It's pretty scrappy out there. Bukayo Saka though brings the ball under control and gives it to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard cuts to the edge of the penalty area. He finds Jesus. Jesus gets a shot in, but it's into the side netting, and he might have been better just pulling that across goal. Looks like it may have taken a deflection. I think that's gone behind for a corner, as a matter of fact. Let's just take a look. It was an impressive pass by Odegaard to Jesus. It actually was a decent save at the near post by Kaminski. And Arsenal now have their first corner of the game. Bukayo Saka is over on the far side to take it. Bukayo Saka's going to swing this one in. And just see over this one here, he's just taking his time, is Saka, and he plays the ball short to Martinelli. Martinelli inside the penalty area, tried to play the ball back to Saka, but that's good work there by Kabori, and Kabori just goes over there and makes a fine challenge on Martinelli, and it goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in. And going over to take it there is Alfie Doherty for Luton. It's about 4 yards away from the corner flag. The Hatters are 1-1 with Arsenal at Kenilworth Road. And it's throwing to be taken by Doherty. It's launched forward, but headed back in by White, who knocked on by Saka. And down goes Jesus. And he's gone down clutching his face. And it looks like there may have been an elbow there. I just want to see if I want to see that again, because Gabriel Jesus doesn't look very happy with it. But let's take a look here. Jesus, looks like he got caught there by Amari Bell, and I just wonder whether VAR may look at that. It looks like a swing of the arm, but there's nothing further being discussed on this. And now Luton can come away, and there is a foul on Ross Barkley, and it will be a free kick to Luton Town. It's taken quickly. The ball is over on the far side there, looking for Kabori. Is being helped along by Andros Townsend. Townsend gets a cross in. It's headed out by Declan Rice. And Kiwior is dispossessed, but he's helped there by Kai Havertz, who clears the ball downfield. Luton Town come forward again now. And it's Andros Townsend under pressure. Oh, right into the back of Andros Townsend and Jacob Kiwior. And it is going to be a free kick. And that was a heavy challenge by Jacob Kiwior, but no further action from the referee. He seems content to let the game flow. But you can see right into the back of him there. That was a crunching challenge. And we're on the half-hour mark here. It is Luton Town 1, Arsenal 1. And standing over this now is Mpanzu and also Ross Barkley. Mpanzu has moved away now, so Ross Barkley is going to take this one. We may be looking at a long ball into the box. Indeed we are. David Raya coming up for that and plucks it out of the air fairly simply. And is he just going to hold on to it? No, he sets off Ben White on his way, and Ben White plays the ball to Saka, who is dispossessed by Doherty, and Luton coming forward now. And good work by Declan Rice, just cutting across Doherty, but Doherty wins the ball back. But under pressure, he's only able to find White, who gives the ball to Bukayo Saka. But Jacob Brown gets in the way there, and it goes out of play, and Doherty is very frustrated with himself. And to be honest, I don't think he did a great deal wrong there. He just ran into some Arsenal defenders waiting to mug him of that ball. So, be a goal kick now. David Raya, right-footed with the goal kick downfield. Up in the air there is Mengi. And it's won back there by Townsend, but dispossessed by Jesus. And Arsenal coming forward. It's Gabriel Jesus into the penalty area. Played across there to Martinelli. Oh, what a super save by Kaminski. Oh, he's just kept his side in it. But here's Gabriel Jesus. Back to Odegaard. It bounces up into the air off the deflection. And Martinelli now coming back as Arsenal putting on the pressure. But what a super save from Thomas Kaminski. Right at his near post there from that effort from Gabriel Jesus. We're going to see that again here. Gabriel Jesus just gets to the edge of the penalty area and then he cuts across. And he gives it to Martinelli, and that's a super save. It was from Martinelli. But what a super save. Right across. Oh, that is a good stop. And he keeps Luton at 1-1. And there is a free kick now for the foul on Gabriel. And as it stands, it is still Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Burnley 0 at Molineux. It's the other game, and a yellow card is just being waved now. Just trying to see who that yellow card. Yes, it's. Yes, I think it's. That's right. Yes, it's being. It looks like it might be being waved at Brown there, actually. Yes, Jacob Brown picks up the yellow card, the first yellow card of the game, on 32 minutes. So, yellow card for Jacob Brown. And the referee has kept his cards in his pocket today. So, there's been some very interesting crunching challenges, but he has chosen not to take that card out in such a hurry. But it had to come out there. That was a very late challenge. The ball is forward. And across the back here is Osho, the goal scorer for Luton. He only gets it as far as Martinelli, though, and another further challenge, this time by Mengi, gets the ball out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in, which is going to be taken by Jacob Kiwior. Level with the Luton 6-yard box. And it's just thrown in, and Gabriel Jesus gets a header on it, but it's hacked away, not very far. And now here is Andros Townsend. Andros Townsend runs the ball out of play, and it's going to be another throw-in for Arsenal. And It's going to be taken by Jacob Kiwior. He's just holding this ball up now. The referee is looking at something with VAR. There's a VAR review, and it could be for a potential penalty. Let's have a look. Oh, yes, on Mpanzu. Mpanzu kicks the ball against his hand. You can't possibly be giving a penalty for that. I mean, that would be absolutely ludicrous. And I don't think that's going to stand. No, the referee, the VAR, common sense, thank goodness. That's taken quickly. And Gabriel just plays the ball across there. William Saliba, and now over to Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka just plays the ball to Gabriel Jesus. Jesus back to Saka. Is Saka going to swing the ball in? He's got Ben White along with him. He decides to go to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard back to William Saliba. Saliba played out on the far side to Gabriel Jesus. Jesus launches the ball into the middle, and Ben White is adjudged to be offside. And the linesman's flag going up right away there. And it's going to be a free kick. It's just inside the penalty area, which Thomas Kaminski will take and launch downfield. We've got 10 minutes till half time here, and it's Luton Town 1, Arsenal 1. And it's, to be honest with you, I think it's been fairly even Stevens in fairness. I know Arsenal have had most of the possession, but I think in terms of chances, it's really has been fairly even Stevens. And really, both sides haven't created a great deal, although they've had, time and possession in the opposition penalty area. It's a throw-in for Luton. Midway inside the Arsenal half of the field, it's taken by Doherty. It's won back by Bukayo Saka. And on the far side there is Jesus under pressure from Amari Bell. And the referee has not given a free kick to either party there. It did look like a little bit of mix and match. I didn't really see much in that. And it's played by Kabore back to Mengi, and Mengi goes back to Kaminski in the Luton Town goal, and he's going to right foot it downfield over the halfway line. It's just headed into the air by Andros Townsend, and Adebayo picks up the ball. Adebayo tried to find Doherty, but he's played it far too far behind him, and it goes out of play for a throw into the Arsenal. And it's taken quickly, and it's back with David Raya from William Saliba. William Saliba just gives the ball to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard plays the ball across to Gabriel, and back to Saliba, and back to Odegaard. Odegaard looking at the options in front of him. He decides to go back to William Saliba. And Odegaard again. Such a key player for Arsenal is Martin Odegaard. His performances today will be vital. Here's Declan Rice. Rice back to Gabriel. Gabriel to Kiwior. Kiwior plays the ball forward to Martinelli now. Martinelli, long ball forward, looking for Jesus, and just dealing with that very well is Osho, but Osho only gives the ball away as far as Martinelli, but Mengi bails his defensive colleague out there. And now here's Ross Barkley for Luton. Ross Barkley has got options over on the far side. It's Doherty. Doherty slips, but he's on his feet and maintains possession, and drops it back to Amari Bell. Bell goes back to the goalkeeper Kaminski. Long downfield. Up there is the number 11, Adebayo. He's adjudged to have been fouled, and it's going to be a free kick. The foul by William Saliba, and a free kick to Luton Town. Looks like, yes, he had his hands all over his shirt and was climbing on his back. Free kick to Luton. I don't think there's any question about that. It's about 10 yards inside the Arsenal half of the field. And so far, just so you know, it is still 1-0 at Molineux between Wolves and Burnley. And the free kick will be taken by Doherty. Doherty launches it into the Arsenal penalty area. Adebayo getting up, just cleared away by Declan Rice, and chasing this one now with Martinelli. But Kabore just getting across well there and pushing the ball back to the goalkeeper Kaminski, who clears the ball downfield. It's not the best clearance and has to be helped along its way there by Mpanzu, but it's going to be a throw-in taken quickly for Arsenal. And here's Declan Rice. Rice just gives the ball to Kiwior, and Kiwior drops the ball back to Gabriel, and Gabriel goes across to William Saliba. Saliba to Gabriel. Jesus, who gives it back to Saliba. And here's Jesus again. Is he fouled that time by Brown? The referee says no. Here's Odegaard under pressure by Bell, and also Adebayo is over there tag teaming. But just nipping in to win the ball back there is Bukayo Saka, and he gives the ball to William Saliba. Saliba back to Declan Rice, just inside his own half. Long ball over on the left-hand side, and Bukayo Saka has got some space in front of him here. Bukayo Saka gets into the penalty area, gets a shot away by Saka. Oh, it's another super save by Thomas Kaminski. Well, that is 2 impressive saves he's made in this first half to keep the score tied at 1. Bukayo Saka cuts into the penalty area in ways in which he does so brilliantly. It was right into the corner. It was arrowing into the goal. But what a super save by Thomas Kaminski. It's going to be a corner to Arsenal, which Gabriel Martinelli is over. Well, he's not got it in the quadrant, I can tell you that. But it's going to be a corner here by Martinelli. Looks like he may try and in-swing this. 6-yard box is crowded. And it comes and the header is in and it has to be cleared away. And it looks like it was Osho that tried to clear it. And finally it's helped along by Mengi. Mengi gives the ball to Andros Townsend. Townsend slips the ball forward, and it's Kabori. Tries to get past Kiwior, but is only successful really in running into him, as we've got 5 minutes to go till half time. And it's Luton Town 1, Arsenal 1. But Thomas Kaminski can be thanked for really maintaining Luton at parity right now. And some super saves there. As we just look again at that resulting corner, and there's actually Mpanzu, the captain, who is down at the moment. He's just on his feet now, clutching his arm. He looks in some discomfort. There's been a couple of players really on both teams that have suffered a bit in this first half with knocks, but Mpanzu is on his feet now. And we're going to be getting the game back underway as Martinelli is receiving some instructions from Mikel Arteta. Just wonder what's being said there. And a throw-in is going to be taken by Kabori for Luton. 6 yards inside the Arsenal half of the field. Kabori just looking for options available. And he goes long, does Kabori. And, it's... you can see there that Andros Townsend is caught under that. He does win the ball back, does Townsend, and Ross Barkley was almost got there, but Kai Havertz nipped in instead and dropped it back to Kiwior. And Kiwior goes long looking for Martinelli, and it's come off Mengi, and it's going to be a throw-in to Arsenal. Midway inside the Luton half of the field, which Jacob Kiwior is going to take. Kiwior just throws the ball back there to Gabriel. Gabriel just gives the ball again to William Saliba. And he's got a bit of space in front of him as Saliba, but he goes long. He's looking for Kai Havertz. Can Havertz bring that down? Not really successfully. Ross Barkley gets in the way of that, makes a good challenge. Barkley plays the ball forward to Townsend. Townsend lifts the ball forward, but he's not able to find Kabori. It's a good interception by Martinelli, and he's now down off the field. He seems to have just been bundled off the field. As Arsenal now coming forward with Declan Rice. Rice just drops the ball to White. White gives the ball to William Saliba as Arsenal attempting to build up from the back one more time. And it's Declan Rice. Declan Rice just plays the ball forward. And it's back again now with Gabriel. Arsenal patient build up, looking for a way through this Luton Town defence. And Martinelli is now back on the field. He's been in the wars in this first half. And here is Gabriel, just gives the ball to Kiwior. Kiwior plays the ball forward to Martinelli. Martinelli just trying to touch it past Mengi, but across there to deal with that is Kabori. And Kabori just chases the ball back and then clears the ball downfield. And that's Townsend who launches the ball forward. And Brown is over this one, but that's good work defensively by Ben White. And in fact, Ben White gets the benefit of the doubt of that clutch. And it's a free kick to Arsenal, and they take it quickly. Here's Kai Havertz, and it's another free kick, and a yellow card is going to be issued. And just going to see who it's another Luton player who's getting the booking. It looks like it's Ross Barkley. Let's just take a look at this again. Oh, yes, it's a late one. It's a late one. Ross Barkley, 43 minutes, joins his colleague Jacob Brown in the referee's naughty book. And with 2 minutes to go till half time, it is 1-1. This game is pretty delicately poised at the moment. And we've had 7 attempts on goal for Arsenal. 7 attempts, 5 on goal. Luton have their one shot on goal that was the goal itself. Here's Declan Rice. Rice plays the ball forward, and it's Ben White. Ben White just drops it back to Bukayo Saka. Saka back to White. Can he get there before Bell? The cross is in, and there's Jesus! And it's 2-1 to Arsenal! Gabriel Jesus! From the cross from Ben White into the 6-yard box. Gabriel Jesus gives the Gunners the lead, and parity has been restored in the normal process of things. Arsenal are in the lead, and that's the way it's been this season for the Gunners. They really have had an excellent season so far and continue to play really good football. And, well, Gabriel Jesus, it was probably one of the easiest goals he'll score all season. Ben White just got the ball off Bukayo Saka. He's onside, of course. And he gets the cross in, just lifted it over the two defenders, and ghosting in there was Gabriel Jesus. And as well as Kaminski has played in this first half for Luton, well, he had no chance with that. A thumping header from Gabriel Jesus, and Arsenal have a 2-1 lead. So there's going to be 5 minutes of stoppage time, and that is really more to do with the fact that the injured players, I would suspect, rather than any particular time wasting by anybody. Kaminski plays the ball downfield. At half-time, we'll go back to Ross Vernon. I'll update you on the Wolves and Burnley game. It's still 1-0 there. They don't have long left there, perhaps 15, 20 minutes or so left in that game. And there is another foul, and another yellow card is going to be brandished here, this time to Gabriel Jesus. And Gabriel Jesus is trying to say, well, that's my first foul, but let's just take a look at it again. Yeah, it was late. I understand the referee's point of view on that, actually. It was a late challenge, and Gabriel Jesus is the third player of this game to go into the referee's book. Russ has just advised me there's 20 minutes plus stoppage time left at Molineux. Free kick is taken quickly and launched into the penalty area, and it's headed out by Kiwior and picked up by Kabori, and Kabori goes all the way back to the goalkeeper Kaminski, who clears the ball downfield and headed into the air and hacked away by Kai Havertz. Oh, good work by Mengi, just getting ahead of Gabriel Martinelli that time. But his pass is wayward, and it only finds Declan Rice, and Arsenal can move forward again. And the ball is played forward to Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka trying to get away from Doherty. He gives it to Ben White. White pulls the ball back to Odegaard, but intercepting well there was Mpanzu. Good work by him. And the ball is cleared away, but only as far as Kai Havertz, but it's won back again by Luton. And Bell just tries to play the ball forward to the chasing Andros Townsend, but it goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in. We have played 3 minutes of injury time of the 5 in this first half. If you're just joining us, it is Luton Town 1, Arsenal 2. You've missed a pretty interesting game, to be honest, if you're just joining us now. Here is Adebayo. Adebayo's ball is given away to Odegaard, and Arsenal can come forward again, but it's a wayward pass by Declan Rice, and Gabriel Oshu picks up the ball for Luton. He got the goal for Luton on 25 minutes, which cancelled out Gabriel Martinelli's 20th minute goal. And here is Mpanzu again, the captain for Luton. Mpanzu just gives it back to Osho. Osho going long over on the far side. He's looking for Doherty. Doherty brings it down wonderfully. He's right in front of Ben White now as Doherty. Is he going to be able to get the cross in? He does. He gets the cross in, but it looks like it took a deflection and goes behind for a corner to Luton. And you can see it here, actually. He just kind of gets inside. He brought it down brilliantly. It was a difficult pass to begin with, but the cross was blocked, and it's going to be a corner kick to Luton. 2 corners apiece in this first half. And Kyria just looking to organise the defence. As Luton bring up the big boys again, including Osho looking for a second chance. The cross comes in and just headed away by William Saliba. Good work by the Arsenal defender, but only as far as Mpanzu. Mpanzu tried to find Doherty again, and finally it breaks loose to Mengi. He got the shot away, but it's a comfortable save by David Raya. Just brings it down, does Mengi. It was worth the effort, but it was just almost right down the throat of David Raya. And he will keep a hold of that now. We've got another comment. Joe Smoke not quite so pleased now. Luton have conceded, and Arsenal pick up the ball now with Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is shoved over there, and that was in the penalty area. That was risky, very risky by Mpanzu. But Luton do break the ball away, and Mpanzu plays the ball forward, and it's just headed away that time by Gabriel, but again picked up by Adebayo. Adebayo drops the ball back there to Bell, and Osho just waiting for the options available. We've almost played the full 5 minutes here at Kenilworth Road. I'm thinking the referee will blow soon enough. It's a long ball by Osho looking for Doherty, but headed out of play by Ben White. And that is it. That is half time. And at half time at Kenilworth Road, a goal on the 20th minute by Gabriel Martinelli. That was cancelled out by Gabriel Osho's thumping header. But on the 44th minute, Gabriel Jesus from 6 yards out, a thumping header of his own, gave Arsenal the lead again. So at half-time at Kenilworth Road, it's Luton Town 1, Arsenal 2. Back to you, Russ.
Thank you very much to Paul. James will be back with us shortly to review that first half action. Give you more details on that first half action. If he thinks that Arsenal is there to be leading 2-1 at the break. He's still 1-0 to Wolves against Burnley. Burnley, not happy a few moments ago. There was a free kick for Burnley, which plays in way of, so Taylor couldn't take it quickly. He then took it quickly, but the foot stuck out, and they managed to get it sorted in the end. To get it through in the end there. Excuse me. So Wolves leading by, we go to against Burnley in this one. Arsenal leading 2-1 in. Arsenal leading 2-1 in their game away to Luton. Can keep up to date with the second half of Luton against Arsenal very shortly, with Paul James bringing you the coverage this evening. We'll keep you up to date with everything on how this game goes, as Burnley trying to force an equaliser at this moment in time against Wolves. Not just coming off of them at this moment in time. Wolves been putting pressure against Burnley so far. We'll keep you up to date with now. There's some more action matches taking place this week. We'll keep you, we'll let you know about those shortly. Hopefully we'll be able to fetch you at least one of those tomorrow in the matches. There's some FA Cup action tonight. Luton Town 0, Walsall 0. 6-7 minutes gone there. Excuse me. Some results from the EFL Trophy knockout stages. Blackpool 2, Barnsley 1. Full-time score. Derby 3, Fleetwood 0. Doncaster 3, Forest under 21s 0. Forest Green Rovers 0, Oxford United 1. MK Dons 0, Brighton 4. And Wickham 3, Fulham 2. 81 minutes gone is Bradford 3, Liverpool 21s 0. Colchester 0, West Ham United 21s 4, 82 minutes gone there. Peterborough 3, Arsenal 21s 0. Wrexham 1, Burton Albion 3. Bolton against Port Vale 2-0. Bolton lead on 67 minutes. Crawley 1, Bristol Rovers 1. Accrington against Lincoln match postponed. There's other matches taking place this evening as well in the Spanish Copa del Rey. Atlante 1, Getafe 2, Azora 0, Valencia 1, Catalonia 2, Oviedo 0, Espanyol 2, Real Valladolid 0 is another score there as well. And in the Scottish Premiership, 67 minutes score, Ross County 3, Motherwell 0 is the latest score there. We'll go across to Paul James very, very shortly for the start of the second half, and we'll get his thoughts on the first half, as well as Burnley come forward with Amdouni, who's brought down and wins a free kick. Yellow card for the Wolves captain Max Kilman, who was trying to plead his innocence there with the match referee, said he never touched him. Excuse me. We'll keep up to date if anything happens in this game. I'll wait for Paul to return and get Paul's thoughts on the match that is seen at Kenilworth Road. You seem to let us know what your thoughts are if you've been watching that one. Do Arsenal deserve to be leading? Or do Fulham deserve to have something? No, Fulham Luton deserve to have something from this game in the first half. Let me just remind you what's coming up in the Premier League this midweek. Brighton against Brentford, Crystal Palace v Bournemouth, Fulham against Nottingham Forest, Sheffield United, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Man City, Man United, Chelsea tomorrow evening, Wednesday that is. Thursday, Everton against Newcastle, and Tottenham against West Ham United. Earlier today, Sheffield United parted company with manager Paul Eckingbottom and announced the return of former boss Chris Wilder for a second spell in charge. Burnley have a shot at goal from Trezor from a free kick. Deflects over behind for a corner, 10 minutes to go. Remains Wolves 1, Burnley 0 in that game. At Molineux, Burnley have a corner, which will take him by Trezor again in their game. We'll keep you up to date in everything that happens there. Half time in the featured match. Luton Town 1, Arsenal 2. Arsenal taking the lead, being paid back and then back in the lead again just before half time. We've now got Paul back, and we'll go to Paul in a second after just see this attack here as Burnley try and come forward. This time we Bernard Goodmanson on the left hand side. Plays the ball inside to Amdouni, who crosses in towards the back post. Burnley we can't get there. Taylor tries to get on the end of it. He's challenging the Wolvesman and Wolves player Suabe, I think it is, comes away with possession. Taylor gets the ball back, and Burnley have it on halfway to the centre circle in Wolves' halves. Wolves 1, Burnley 0. Let's be known to your match commentator who's been watching Luton against Arsenal in that first half, from Paul James. You'll be watching that first half, Paul. What have you made to the first half? Do Arsenal deserve to be leading 2-1, or would you say Luton are unlucky to be going in behind in the break?
Well, let me put it this way. I think Arsenal deserve to be winning. I don't think there's any question about that. But I really am impressed with Luton and what they've done in the first half. They've managed in parts of that first half to press Arsenal back and push Arsenal into their own half. They've not sat back and parked the bus when they were tied at 1. I've been quite impressed with some of their play in the first half. But I mean, obviously, there's still a lot of football to be played in this, and it's only 2-1. And we saw at the weekend, did we not, Ross, that you can have this 2-1 lead, but if you don't take chances that become available you may well get sucker punched.
Absolutely, Paul. And when you've been watching that first half first, Paul, and what's Luton's approach been like, even when they were 1-0 down? Have they always looked like they was going to get on the score sheet, or have they not been looking to get on the, or have just been sending off Arsenal, making sure they don't conceded many before they did get the equaliser? What's been their approach? It seems
well,
down.
Like I said, I've been impressed with the way Luton has played, but they haven't created many chances. Uh, they've pressed Arsenal, they've pushed Arsenal back, but they haven't really created anything. Their goal came from that corner that swung in, and the looping header over the goalkeeper or away from the goalkeeper into the corner. Of course, the goalkeeper didn't stand a chance. And it's been one of those, hasn't it? It's been one of those types of first half that Arsenal have dominated the possession. They've created chances for themselves. Of course, Thomas Kaminski made a couple of vital saves. It could very well have been 4-1 by the end of all of this. So you have to say it's whilst I've been impressed with Luton in their approach play, they haven't really created much.
Yes, and how have they defended tonight, Paul? Obviously, they're missing Tom Lockyer, one of the key defenders. Have they defended reasonably well today, Luton, or have they been looking a bit shaky at times?
Well, they've been looking a bit shaky of times, but I think they have done most of the season, haven't they? They've not been brilliant defensively. I think given Tom Lockyer or not, when you're coming up against Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, Martin Odegaard, Gabriel Jesus, Declan Rice, and Kai Havertz to an extent, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. And you've just come up from the Championship, and you're going to struggle. And I think there's been times where Arsenal have comfortably broken Luton down in the first half. But right now, the score is still only 2-1, and they are still in this game.
It is, yes, and I mean, it's asking, is it still nil nil? No, it's Luton 1, Arsenal 2 at the break. There are minutes. Hopefully, you're doing okay. And he says he loves the channel. So, thank you very much for tuning in today. Keep us locked and and, and make sure you tune in for the second half, which is coming up shortly. We'll be going to cut back across there very soon for the start of the second half in the game between Luton and Arsenal. Still 1-0 between Burnley and Wolves to Wolverhampton Wanderers. A mistake from Burnley defensively allowed Wang Yi-chan to score the opening goal of the game on 42 minutes just before the half-time interval, which has seen them leading. They've looked fairly comfortable in the second half, although Burnley have had some chances. Wolves are going to come forward, try and come forward again before going back over to Paul for the second half shortly, as we see Kilman just switching the play well for Wolves. But we'll get back out to across the ball in a second. And he says, mistake from Burnley defensively. Well, imagine my shock. Yes, Paul, there was another mistake defensively from Burnley, and Wolves are making it so with 4 minutes to go now, still leading by a goal to nil. Wolves have defence and goalkeeper have not really looked trouble either going forward, Paul. And if I'm honest, I think, yes, no, it's only 1-0. And if it stays 1-0, it's the easiest 1-0 game that probably Wolves have had in quite a long time, because, yes, Burnley have had possession. I would say half chances. They've not really tested the goalkeeper much.
No, I couldn't believe that.
We'll be getting ready to get back across the ball in just a second or so once we know the teams are emerging from the tunnel for the start of the second half at Kenilworth Road for Luton Town against Arsenal. We'll keep you across all of that in the second half. We watch it. Just remind about games that will take place in midweek in the Premier League. Rest of this week: Brighton against Brentford, Crystal Palace against Bournemouth, Fulham against Nottingham Forest, Sheffield United, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Man City, Man United, Chelsea, and Everton, Newcastle, Tottenham against West Ham. That's on Thursday. The other games taking place tomorrow evening. Make sure you tune into Focus on Football. Tomorrow will be a round the ground special for the matches in the Premier League. Join Paul, James and the team for that. So hopefully we may have some commentary as well. We'll have to wait and see if we do. We'll advertise that out on social media. This is Burnley poor defensively again here as Wolves try and come forward. Chipped in. But this time Wolves weren't able to profit from that poor Burnley defensive play. in the end there. Coming up towards the final 2 minutes of normal time, header injury time, and it remains Wolves 1, Burnley 0. Get ready for the second half shortly in this game. We'll get ready for the start of the second half in our feature match in just a moment, as Wolves in the other match we're keeping an eye on this evening. They're coming forward down their left hand side. Lamina's there. Looks to get the ball into the penalty area, Willie. He's gone backwards at this moment in time, Lamina's. Burnley are forcing Wolves backwards. Will they put ball out of play? There's a player down from Wolves here, trying to see who it is. I'm not sure if it's Suabi. He's got cramp here. There's Bueno. Hugo Bueno, come on. He's got cramp. And he stays down, and as he's gone down, he stood on the Burnley player's foot and remained down. Coutinho's tried helping him out there, but he's not being helped as much as he'd like. And the players are back, and she's had to call the physio on as well in coming across the 90th minute. Any news on any sign of the teams coming out to Kenilworth Road yet, Paul?
Yeah, well, Arsenal are in the tunnel. They're just having a final chat before coming out. There's a couple of the Luton players already on the pitch. So finally, the Arsenal players are now making their way onto the field. I'm just looking to see if there's any sign of a substitution by either side, especially given the fact that both sides had players that received knocks in that first half. But Arsenal are coming out onto the field. The Luton players are now out on it. Doesn't look like there's any changes, Ross. Just waiting for our referee Samuel Barrett to come out, who I think in his first season, within a select group of referees, I think he's doing very, very well in this game particularly. We've had one VAR check, and hopefully that's it, touch wood, and the correct decision was made. So
It does speak too soon, Paul, regarding the VAR checks.
oh, you know it.
See what's happens in the Premier League.
Yeah, yeah.
As we've got into 3 minutes stoppage time and Mullen, you'll still 1-0 to Wolves. So with the players back out to Kenilworth Road now, time for me to hand back over to match commentator for the second half. Is Paul James. Hopefully he's not put a case on it, and there's loads of VAR chances in the second half, Paul.
All right, thanks, Ross. Welcome back, everybody. Good evening to you if you're just joining us. It is Luton Town 1, Arsenal 2. Luton will get the game back under the way. There has been no changes at the break by either side. And Luton will be attacking the goal to our left in the second half. They are in their orange jerseys with the white stripe, black shorts, orange socks. Arsenal in their illuminous yellow shirts with the black stripes, black shorts, and illuminous socks with the black trim. So we'll just go through the starting lineups with you very, very quickly. Kaminski is in goal for Luton, and it's Bell, Oshie, Mengi, Doherty, Barkley, and Panzu, Kabori, Townsend, Brown, and Adebayo. For Arsenal, Raya, Kiwior, Gabriel, Saliba, White, Havertz, Rice, Odegaard, Martinelli, Jesus, and Saka. As it's now back with Kaminski, who clears the ball downfield. Just winning that ball in the air there is Townsend, but it's won back by Declan Rice. Rice just goes back to the Gabriel, and back by Saliba to the goalkeeper, David Raya, who clears the ball downfield now. It's headed in the air there by Mengi, and the ball is played forward by Kabori. Arsenal just trying to win the ball back, but it's picked up by Mpanzu. Mpanzu gives the ball to Townsend. Townsend has got options in front of him. He's just looking to try to get the cross in. Townsend does get the cross in, and David Raya just having to take a couple of steps back, but he plucks the ball out of the air, and it's Raya will start again from the back, and he just drops the ball down and clears it downfield. And looking up in the air there is Havertz, who heads the ball on, looking for Gabriel Jesus, but that's a good piece of defending by Oshie. Just clears it off Havertz, and it goes back through to Kaminski, and Luton will begin and get the game back underway. Luton Town still in this game. They're only 2-1 down. As one great man once said, it only takes a minute to score a goal. It's cleared downfield and headed into the air by Declan Rice. Headed out again by Saliba, but headed back towards the goal by Barkley. And it's cleared out again, but then Panzu picks up the ball now, and he gives the ball there to Brown. And the ball is played out on the far side to Doherty. Doherty just trying to get away from Saka and Odegaard. Doherty plays a cross in, and it's just headed to Odegaard by Declan Rice, and Odegaard puts his foot through it. But here's Ross Barkley now for Luton as they put on some pressure in the second half. Ross Barkley under pressure there. He drops it back to Osho. Osho plays the ball forward to Kabori. Kabori drops it back there to Bell. And it's Bell again. Plays the ball forward there to Adebayo. Just knocks it on to Barkley. Under pressure from Odegaard. Good ball by Barkley. Finds Townsend. Townsend with a shot. It takes a deflection off Gabriel and goes behind for a corner to Luton Town. The first one of this second half. Well, Rob Edwards has got to be encouraged by what he's seen at the start of the second half by Luton. And they are going to be, well, they're going to outswing this one. But it's going to be Doherty that's going to go over to take it. As Arsenal just organising the defence. They don't want to concede again. And up there is Osho, who scored. Adebayo. The corner is going to be taken by Doherty. In there is Mengi as well, along with Jacob Brown. And this corner is going to be swung in again. And it's just launched in towards the back post. Adebayo! It's in! It's 2-2! And Adebayo gets up, and just as I said, Arsenal cannot afford to concede again. Adebayo jumps up with a looping header over David Raya, and it is 2-2. And we are back level again at Kenilworth Road. And it's Elijah Adebayo on 49 minutes. And we are tied up at 2, and we are seeing a game here, folks. This is swung in by Doherty. Adebayo just gets up before David Raya. You have to question the goalkeeper there, in fact, because if you're going to come for it, you've got to get there, and he didn't. Adebayo got there ahead of him, and the header just looped into the net, and it is Luton Town 2, Arsenal 2, and, well, Mikel Arteta and Arsenal will not be pleased with the way that went down. And that's 2-2. And Rob Edwards raised his arms in the air. He's obviously delighted with that. And so it's that particular Luton fan who's getting right in the camera there, letting everybody know how pleased he is. Football's an emotional game, isn't it? And it's the ball is played forward, and just clearing up there at the back is William Saliba. And it's all the way back to David Raya in the goal. Here's Mike Harneman. Hi, Paul. Great game. Knew this wouldn't be easy for us, needing to defend better on both goals. Can't afford to defend that poorly in any Premier League game now. No, and I agree with you 100%, Mike. Good to hear from you. Mike is a member of the Commentary Hub channel and does commentaries. When I first started doing commentaries, I was working alongside him, and I have to say I've learned an awful lot from Mike. So he's in the chat with us today. He's, of course, an Arsenal fan and is very, very happy with the start of the season, I suspect. But here's Declan Rice now. Declan Rice over the halfway line. And it's dropped back there to Gabriel. Gabriel just gives it to Declan Rice again. 71% the second half possession in favour of Luton Town. They started this second half very, very well. And it's full time at Molineux. It's Wolves 1, Burnley 0. Another defeat for the Clarets then. Here's Odegaard. Odegaard just pulled the ball out to Bukayo Saka. Saka just, that's good piece of defending that time by Jacob Brown. Appeals for handball. I don't think you can really give that. It was a little bit too close to Jacob Brown to really do anything with that. And it's cleared up by William Saliba now, and he gives the ball to Declan Rice. Odegaard on the halfway line. Plays the ball forward there, and that's nicely picked up by Jesus. Jesus for Arsenal. He gives the ball to Bukayo Saka inside the penalty area. Bukayo Saka gets the shot away, but it's blocked. And right back out there to Kiwi, who tries to get his foot in the way of that. Is scrappy. And finally, good work by Amari Bell, who gets across to make the challenge. But just for a moment, Luton couldn't clear their lines there. And one or two opportunities fell the way for both Jesus and Kiwior on the edge of the penalty area. But it's out of play, and the officials' flag on the far side had gone up anyway. Oh, yes, I can see why Townsend has gone down. Just from the shot there from Kiwior, and the studs caught Townsend. Not on purpose, of course. I think it was quite by accident, but it was nevertheless quite painful for Andros Townsend, I suspect. And there is action on the Luton Town bench right now. I'm just wondering whether Rob Edwards is... And they are reviewing it on VAR now. Just a moment here. They are reviewing this. I'm just waiting to see now if the referee is... They're still reviewing it. And it's possibly for the challenge by Kiwior. They're possibly looking at either... Oh, actually, they may be reviewing a potential penalty, but it's not been given anyway. VAR, no penalty in that case. So, yes, Mike points out he's also a Stevenage fan. And there's an extra reason as to why I want to win this one, because the rivalry between Luton and Borough. So, yes, I can see why you might want Luton to come unstuck here, Mike. The Arsenal under pressure in this game. They're not finding this easy, but they do have a free kick now, and it's Martin Odegaard level with the Luton penalty area, just out on the right-hand side on the touchline. So this is a chance for Martin Odegaard to swing one in, and we all know what he's capable of. And he's going to standing up, arm in the air there. There's one man in the wall, and that of course is Kabori, and he's just going to swing this one in now. Is Odegaard? He launches it in towards the back post. It's headed up into the air, but over the crossbar. It was Kai Havertz who got his head on that one, but didn't get his head over it, and it looped over the crossbar. And it's going to be a goal kick to Luton Town as we have 10 minutes of the second half gone at Kenilworth Road. It's Luton Town 2, Arsenal 2, and this is in fact very, very tight at this point. Luton have started the second half very impressively, and this game, I have to say, is very much in the balance right now. And this is what determines champions from top four. These sort of games, these sort of places that are very difficult to go and get anything. And here's Havertz. Havertz plays the ball forward now, but that's a good piece of defending by Osho, and he clears the ball to Townsend on the far side. And Luton are away on the break here. He's got Gabriel in front of him. Townsend, can he get the cross in? He pulls it back to Brown. Brown swings that cross in. It's cleared away, though, and Odegaard wins back possession. And he finds Martinelli. Martinelli gives the ball to Bukayo Saka. It's a break on for Arsenal. Bukayo Saka. He's got Bell in front of him. Saka swings it in towards the back post. It's hooked away by Mengi. And finally, Doherty gives the ball back to Bell. Puts him under a bit of pressure, but he drops the ball back to Kaminski. And Kaminski will clear it right-footed downfield under no pressure whatsoever. And Townsend just nips in and wins back the ball and gives it to Brown. Brown plays the ball forward, but it's a disappointing ball from his perspective, and it goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal. Interesting fact, Osho was linked with Stevenage back in 2012, and Adebayo was on loan at Stevenage Borough in 2019. Thanks for that, Mike. I didn't know that. But that's an interesting link between those two teams. And it's won now by Andros Townsend. He gives the ball back to Mengi. Mengi just plays the ball forward, and it's dropped back again to Oshie. Osho clears the ball forward. Here's Doherty. Doherty drops the ball back to Barkley. Barkley just trying to escape away from White and Odegaard. That's good play by Ross Barkley. He's got options available. It's a good ball. He finds Townsend. Can he get a shot away, Townsend? He decides to play the ball back to Barkley. It's inside the penalty area. Barkley with a shot, and it's a goal to Luton. Luton take the lead, and David Raya has to hold his head up for that one. That is poor goalkeeping, and he knows it. And that is Luton with a 3-2 lead, and it's Ross Barkley, and the shot could be on here at Kenilworth Road. 56 minutes gone. It's Ross Barkley's goal, and Luton are 3-2 up. Well. And I have to say, in the way the second half has started for Luton, I can't begrudge the fact that they deserve the lead. Look at this. It started by the ball was played forward. It was excellent work by Barkley to get away from White and Odegaard. He gets the ball back here from Andros Townsend. Andros Townsend didn't be able to get the shot away. And Barkley, and they just didn't close him down quick enough. And he gets, that is poor goalkeeping. That is poor goalkeeping. And Barkley just gets away from Ben White, and it's such tight angle that squeezes under David Raya. Oh, goodness me. Looks worse from behind the goal. Anybody that wants to watch that again tonight on wherever you get your highlights show from, that's poor. Luton 3, Arsenal 2. And Luton can celebrate a potential major upset against the league leaders, and this is not something Arsenal can afford to have right now. And the substitutes are coming on for Luton. Let's just figure this out here, because there's going to be 3 of them coming on, I think. We have Carlton Morris coming on, also Tahith Chong, and there is one more who's just stripping off there. I'm not quite sure who that is on the far side, but we'll get those for you in a moment. They're not coming on yet. And it's Ogbene, according to Russ. Chidozie Ogbene, if I pronounce that right. So there's going to be 3 substitutions from Luton, but here comes Martinelli. Martinelli over on the far side, and he's been dispossessed, and Luton can now come away with a ball. And yes, it's the substitutions are now coming up as the ball goes out of play. We're just going to work out who's coming off, but it's Carlton Morris, Chidozie Ogbene, and Tahith Chong, who are coming on for Luton. Now we're not. They're just receiving their final instructions from Rob Edwards as this throw-in is taken quickly. And up in the air goes Martinelli. He manages to find Saka. Saka just plays the ball forward looking for Jesus. Jesus, now it's Havertz! It's 3-3! And Arsenal are level! It's Kai Havertz who's becoming a regular goal machine for Arsenal. And they are level at Kenilworth Road. And what a cheap way to give up that goal. That is, from Luton's perspective, that is very disappointing as well. They just fell asleep defensively. And, well, they might ask questions, but what a game we're seeing here today. You can see here that the header was on from Odegaard. Saka just launched the ball over the top to Jesus. Jesus just tapped it to Havertz, and the Luton defence fell asleep. That allowed Havertz to get inside the defence. And he wasn't tracked. He was not tracked by Osho. Osho did not track him. And there was Kai Havertz to just tap it past Thomas Kaminski in the Luton Town goal. And we are at 3-3. What a game we've got. What a game we've got here. Okay, so now the substitutes. Brown has gone off. So Jacob Brown. We'll just see who the other 2 is at the moment. Well, Ogbene is being held back. Just trying to see who the other substitute is that's come off. Ogbene is still trying to get on, and so is Chong. So far, Carlton Morris has got on for Jacob Brown. Andros Townsend is another. It's coming off. And the other one is Elijah Adebayo. So the 3 coming on are Tahith Chong, Chidozie Ogbene, and Carlton Morris. The 3 coming off are Andros Townsend, Jacob Brown, and Elijah Adebayo. All on the 61st minute. And, well, the ball is cleared downfield. Well, this is, Ross, I have to say, this is the second 6-goal game that we've had in succession. Was it the 3-3 draw? I commented on the 3-3 draw with City and Spurs on Sunday. So this is a second helping that we're getting. Really good game here. and Bukayo Saka clears the ball forward, and it's picked up there by Osho. So Tahith Chong wears 14, Chiadozie Ogbene 7, and Carlton Morris wears number 9, in case you're following along with the commentary and watching on your television. Here's Havertz. Havertz dropped back to Saliba. Saliba over on the far side there to Kiwior, and back to Gabriel. Gabriel just looking for options forward. He finds Declan Rice. Declan Rice now is surrounded by the number 12 Kabori and Panzu, and it's won back quickly by Luton Town. And it's played back there to Bell and back to the goalkeeper. And Kaminsky clears the ball long downfield. And it was comfortably won by Havertz. Tried to find Martinelli on the far side, and it's going to be cleared by Mengi, but he only finds Kai Havertz again, and Havertz finds Declan Rice. Declan Rice gives the ball across there to Ben White. Ben White to Odegaard. And back to Saliba. Saliba to Gabriel. Gabriel finds Ben White again, just over the halfway line. And, that's a good interception by Ross Barkley, but Bukayo Saka picks it up. Saka finds Jesus. Can he get the cross in, Jesus? He holds the ball up. Gabriel Jesus is trying to pull it back to Saka, but Ross Barkley intercepts, and there has been the flag gone up on the far side. I assume Gabriel Jesus was in an offside position. Indeed he was. He just strayed offside, not by much, but offside he was. And we are going to see Alexander Zinchenko coming on for Jakub Kiwior. So it's a like-for-like swap. Alexander Zinchenko is on, and Jakub Kiwior is off. Now I can see perhaps why they've made that change. As I commented earlier on in the broadcast, I believe that he does get further forward, does Zinchenko, on a much more regular basis. 64 minutes. Also, Gabriel Martinelli is off, and Leandro Trossard is on. So double change for the Gunners. And we'll see. Martinelli, of course, got the goal on 20th minute. They got the whole thing started. It's now with Gabriel, and Gabriel plays the ball forward. 64 minutes, that switch took place, and Ben White plays the ball forward. He finds Bukayo Saka back with Odegaard. Odegaard gives the ball to Gabriel. Gabriel on the far side to Zinchenko, already getting into a further forward position. And he has the ball now. He just drops it back. And it's Gabriel again, just looking for the options available. It's Zinchenko. Back to Zinchenko again. He's just under pressure there from Ogbene. And it's back with Declan Rice. And it's now with Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka just gives the ball to Zinchenko. Zinchenko over on the far side to Leandro Trossard. Looking at what options he has available, Trossard switches on for Martinelli, who has come off. I actually think Martinelli's played quite well today. And there is Osho, goes back to the goalkeeper. Kaminsky clears the ball downfield and out of play. And with 65 minutes gone, you are listening to alternative commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. The player of the match today is sponsored by Commentary Services, and Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports, Focus on Football, and Storm FM. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. And the ball is played forward, and getting in the way there of Zinchenko's Kabori. Good work by him, just gets the ball out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal, and the referee is just pointing to where he wants that throw-in to be taken. And it's back with Saliba. Saliba just plays the ball forward to Jesus, who's shoved over surely there. The referee plays on, however, and cleared away by Osho, and it's forward to Carlton Morris. Morris plays the ball forward to Kabori. Kabori looking at the options, gets the cross in, and it just beats everybody. Raya didn't come to claim it either, and he's he's offside there, and it's going to be a free kick. Ogbeni in an offside position at that point. The cross coming in there, yes, he's just straight offside as Chidozie Ogbene, and it's free kick for the Arsenal. And here comes Alexander Zinchenko, and it's dropped back to William Saliba. It's given to Martin Odegaard now. Odegaard goes back to Saliba and now to Gabriel. Gabriel just plays the ball forward to Declan Rice. Declan Rice. Zinchenko. Midway inside his own half. He plays the ball forward and Kai Havertz picks it up. Kai Havertz getting the third goal for Arsenal. And here is Bukayo Saka. Saka back to Odegaard. Odegaard trying to be the creative engine in midfield here. He's given the ball to Bukayo Saka. Here's Jesus now. Got a bit of space. Jesus just dropped back to Ben White. Ben White in an advanced position. Ben White gives the ball to Odegaard. Odegaard to Rice. Rice gives the ball to White. Midway inside the Luton half of the field here as Arsenal building up pressure on this Luton defence. Here's Gabriel. Zinchenko to Trossard. Trossard got two defenders in front of him. He plays the ball, it was a comfortably won back by Osho in the end and cleared away. And here is clearing up at the back is Saliba. Good work by him. Goes all the way back to David Raya, who's had less than one of his better performances, that's for sure, in this game. And here is Saliba. Saliba gives the ball to Odegaard. Now Martin Odegaard just turning away there from Ross Barkley. He's midway inside his own half of the field. He gives the ball to Saliba again. And Saliba just tried to play the ball over the halfway line. It's dropped back to Odegaard by Jesus. And Odegaard just drops it then back to Gabriel. Back to Saliba as Arsenal, careful and patient build-up. Gives it to Declan Rice now. He's over the halfway line and sends Ben White on his way. White gives it to Jesus. Jesus unable to get the cross in and he just runs it out of play and it goes behind for a goal kick. And that's another attack that fizzles out. And he just wasn't... Oh, yes, he was unlucky was Jesus. He just hit it with the wrong foot first and then wasn't able to get the cross or the shot in. And it's a goal kick. So the goal kick is going to be taken by Thomas Kaminski. Just before that is taken, Doherty has gone over to Rob Edwards to get some instructions from his manager, and it's cleared downfield, and Saliba just jumps up and heads it right back in his half, and Mengi has to be careful with Jesus barrowing down on him, and he clears it downfield and out of play into a touch for a throw-in for a throw-in to the Arsenal with Zinchenko. He's going to take the throw-in. Mike says all biases aside, this is why you have to love the Premier League. Yes, Mike, absolutely agree with you on that. It's true, we have been treated to an absolute beauty of a game today. And it's now back with Gabriel. Gabriel plays the ball forward to Bukayo Saka. He's under pressure there from Amari Bell. And it's one back now. And it's Mpanzu with a shot. And it looks like it might have taken a deflection. It goes well wide as a result. And Rob Edwards is just trying to calm his team down. And let's just take a look and see if it did take a deflection. Good work by Mpanzu. He's so strong on the ball. And it wins the ball. Bell wins the ball back there. Whenever Mpanzu, he just gets this shot away. I'm just looking to see if it takes a deflection. That camera angle is not the greatest for me to tell, but Bukayo Saka just getting on his feet. And Mikel Arteta, I just wonder what's running through his mind. This is 2 points he can't afford to lose. And Mike says, in all honesty, it would feel harsh if anyone lost this. Yes, it's right in the balance right now, Mike, it has to be said. And it's cleared downfield by David Raya. Picks up the ball there is Amari Bell. Just gives it back to Kaminski. Kaminski launches it downfield and headed back by Ben White. It's picked up now by Doherty plays the ball forward, but good work by Saliba and tries to be hooked away by Ben White. And Saliba again heads it on. Ross Barkley trying to bring the ball under control, but Martin Odegaard just knocks the ball there to one side to Trossard. But that's good work again. And here is Mengi who wins the ball back. Good work by Luton there. They just continually to fight in midfield for everything. Ross Barkley just drops the ball back there. And it's now with Doherty. Doherty back to Bell. And we're on 72 minutes gone here, and it's Luton 3, Arsenal 3. If you're just joining us, where have you been? You have missed a real barn burner here today. It's launched forward by Bell, and chasing this one back is Morris, but that's good work defensively by Saliba. It's now with Declan Rice. Declan Rice, it gives the ball to Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka is brought down though by Alfie Doherty, and it's going to be a free kick, and Bukayo Saka is not very happy with that. And yeah, so he went through the back of him there, did Doherty. I mean, that's borderline yellow card, but nothing by the official in that time. Ben White plays the ball forward to Kai Havertz. He's being tracked down by Osho. Good work by Osho. The ball goes out of play though, and it's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal. Level with the Luton penalty area. And it's Ben White to take it. Ben White, he's just looking for options he's got available. He's certainly not going to be in any hurry. He's taking his time now. He just drops it to Gabriel Jesus. Ben White plays it again, this time off Benny, and another throw in to Arsenal. Going to be taken by Ben White again. Under the floodlights here at Kenilworth Road. Benny just throws the ball looking for Odegaard. Good work by Odegaard. Just takes the ball away from 3 Luton defenders, and he manages to find Trossard, but Trossard cannot bring it under control, and it goes behind for a goal kick. And we are still at 3-3. Mike says our record against Luton at Kenilworth Road is shocking. No kidding, Mike. It's been a long time since you've last won there. Just to remind you, the 14th of January 1984 was the last time Arsenal won at Kenilworth Road. It was 2-1 that day on the plastic. And it's now with Leandro Trossard. Trossard plays the ball. Russ Vernon says, only saw most of the second half. Raya has been poor for the third Luton goal. Thanks, Ross. Yeah, that's something we can definitely talk about at full time, because that is definitely the case. Here is Trossard. He gives the ball over to Havertz. Havertz gets a cross in. It's headed out by Osho, but only as far as Odegaard, but well helped out by Ross Barkley there. Ross Barkley just turning away there from Odegaard, and it's now back with Odegaard again. Odegaard, edge of the penalty area. Is he going to have a shot? He does, Martin Odegaard. We know how dangerous he is from there. But it's a comfortable save from Thomas Kaminski down to his right-hand side. But a good effort by Martin Odegaard. And Thomas Kaminski. Mike also thinks second and third goals were down to David Raya. Definitely agree with that, Mike. And myself, it's certainly, if you're going to come for the ball with the second, you've got to win it, and he doesn't. And the third goal was the third goal was not very good. Here's Havertz over the halfway line. Good work by Kai Havertz. He's got space now in front of him. He finds Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka gets into the penalty area. He's going to get a shot away, Saka. Oh, that's a good block by Amari Bell. And it's going to be a corner to Arsenal. And we are 3-3. With 14 minutes to go here, and I will have to start considering my player of the match soon, and it's going to be a challenge. Bukayo Saka standing over this one. We've had 3 corners apiece. I've got another comment there, which I'll read out after this corner. Bukayo Saka is over this one, and he just swings the ball in, and it's just headed away there by Oshie. Back to Leandro Trossard, but picked up by Chong. Chong just dropped back to Doherty. Doherty tried to get Luton on the move, but that's a good interception by Bukayo Saka. And picked up there by the number 7, Ogbeni. But now it's won back by Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka cuts into the penalty area. Good work by him. Back to Jesus! And back to Trossard, and it's over the crossbar. And what a chance for Arsenal there to take the lead. Leandro Trossard is the gilt-edged party in this one. Bukayo Saka gets into the penalty area. Great work by the England international. And he manages to pull it back to Trossard. You've got to hit the target from there, level with the penalty area. Looks like it might have taken a deflection in his defence. There is comments to read, and I promise you I will read them after this corner. It's going to be taken by Bukayo Saka. And Bukayo Saka's going to swing this one in. This you just can't take your eyes off this game for a minute. Bukayo Saka swings it in, and it's missing everybody. And eventually Mengi clears the ball away. Let's have a look at some of these comments now. Not seen the second goal yet, Russ says. Second one was the worst one, according to Mike. And it's picked up now by Ben White. And here's Martin Odegaard. Arsenal now turning the screws, trying to get a winner. Gabriel gives the ball to Declan Rice. Rice gives the ball down to White and to Bukayo Saka. Back to Ben White, who drops it back to Odegaard midway inside the Luton half of the field. And here's Odegaard approaching the goal area. And here's Bukayo Saka. Pulls the ball back beautifully. Can Trossard get there? No, Mengi just got a touch and tucked it away from him. But it's back with Declan Rice. And it's a shot which is blocked by Doherty. And it's going to be another corner. And we are seeing a lot of action in this game. And you can see there is complaints going on here. I'm not sure exactly what they're appealing for, Arsenal. Or maybe that. It looked like there might have been a body check there on Saka. Let's have a look. Saka turns. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll say this much. If that was outside the penalty area, that very well could have been given. And also the drag down there as well on Gabriel. That's a penalty. If that happens outside the penalty area, that's a penalty. In fact, it's being reviewed now by VAR, I think. They're reviewing it. That, to me, is a blatant penalty. He's pulled down. He's grabbed his arm. He's pulled him down, and it's. I'm just waiting to see now whether it's not going to be it. I don't think they've given it. But that's as blatant as it gets. He got a hold of his arm and he pulled him down. If that's outside the penalty area, that's given as a foul all day long. Remind me and wake me up from this VAR nightmare, will you please? Corner is coming in now. It's by Leandro Trossard. It's swung in and knocked out to as far as Martin Odegaard. And Trossard pulls the ball back to Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka gives the ball back to Trossard. And it's now back to Odegaard. Odegaard swings the ball in and headed out by Mengi. And only as far as Bukayo Saka. As Arsenal continue to turn the screws. Zinchenko just turning away there from Mengi. And it's now with Ben White. Ben White tries to launch the ball into the box and it's flicked on there. And there's a chance! Oh! On the back post. Trossard nearly got on the end of that. It was flicked on by Kai Havertz. Beautiful football by Arsenal. Swung in there by Ben White. Right onto the head of Havertz. Flicks it on. There's just a bit too much power on it. And Trossard just not able to get there. Stretching with his foot and puts it behind. I'll just finish my marketing duties now. And you are listening to Alternative Commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. The player of the match today is sponsored by Commentary Services, and Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports, Focus on Football, and Storm FM. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. And Mike has just said reason it wasn't given was because Gabriel was adjudged to use his body to get in front of the Luton defender. Okay, so perhaps the previous interaction cancelled out the potential penalty. All right, good to know that. Thanks, Mike. I wasn't aware of that. And here is Odegaard. Odegaard just plays the ball to Declan Rice. Declan Rice over on the far side to Zinchenko. Zinchenko gives the ball to Trossard. Trossard is fouled there, and it's going to be a free kick. The foul is by Kabori. And with 9 minutes to go, I will be informing my producer very soon of the player of the match, and then we will announce it in about 5 or 6 minutes' time. So many names I can pick. But standing over this is Martin Odegaard. Leandro Trossard is there as well. And Bukayo Saka in the mix. Bukayo Saka, obviously, one possible option for player of the match. He's been outstanding again today. And Odegaard is standing over this one now. We're just waiting for the referee to just allow the free kick is taken quickly and given to Jesus. Jesus just tries to get the cross in, but he successfully only finds Ross Barkley and cleared out of play. And Ross Barkley is certainly a contender for player of the match as well. Here's Alexander Zinchenko. Zinchenko to Trossard. There are 2 balls on the pitch. It's just been knocked off now by Odegaard. And it's Zinchenko to Havertz. Havertz back to Zinchenko. Zinchenko over to Odegaard. In 5 or 6 minutes, it might be 5-4 at this rate. Yeah, that's true, Mike. Actually, could be. It's now back with Havertz on the far side. Havertz, he just gives the ball to Odegaard. Odegaard gives it to Havertz in the penalty area. Good ball to Trossard. Good build up this by Arsenal. And the ball goes out of play. Trossard is claiming it's a corner. I actually think it might have come off Trossard. Let's have a look. It's very tight down there. There's Trossard and Mengi. And yes, I think it does come off Trossard. That's a goal kick. And Thomas Kaminski will now take this 73% Arsenal possession in the last 10 minutes as they've really tried to get a stranglehold on this game of Arsenal, but they have not been able to get that precious 4th goal. They'll need to take all 3 points here. Ross Barkley just sneaks in there, but that's comfortably won back. And Bukayo Saka's away, but Kaminski out there to clear the ball downfield. And now here's Odegaard. Odegaard to Jesus, but nipping in there is Ogbeni. Ogbeni gives the ball to Morris. And it's now down this near side to Doherty. And just over the halfway line, it's Luton 3, Arsenal 3, Doherty. 7 minutes to go. And here's Ogbeni now. Ogbeni's got some space in front of him. He gets the crossing all the way to the back post. On the far side there is Kabori. Right-hand side, he's got Trossard in front of him. Kabori tries to get past him on a foot race. Good work by Trossard. Just ushering that ball, allowing it to go out of play. And it is going to be a goal kick. And I am just going to notify Ross of my player of the match. There you go, Ross. Let me know when you're ready. And it's a goal kick played downfield by David Raya and knocked on by Trossard, but the pass to Havertz wasn't good enough, and Osho just ushers it back to the goalkeeper downfield, and it's headed down by Rice to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard in the centre circle. He's got some space there. He gives the ball back to Declan Rice. Declan Rice, and it's now with William Saliba. I'll be naming the player of the match here in about 2 minutes' time. It's now with Bukayo Saka. Saka just cutting into the penalty area. Saka. Oh, that's a good ball to Ben White. Ben White across the penalty area. It's headed out, but only as far as Odegaard. But good work by Ross Barkley, just sneaking in there. And Ross Barkley now just plays the ball forward, and it's given away by Ogbeni. And now here is William Saliba. And he gives it to Declan Rice. And Declan Rice gives the ball to Kai Havertz. And it's cleared away by Osho as Luton Town defending resolutely to try to hold on to this free draw at the moment. And here's Odegaard. Back to Bukayo Saka. Saka cuts inside. He's going to get the cross in, and it's just headed out only as far as Odegaard. We know how dangerous he is there. And there's a chance. It's shot by Rice, but it's blocked. And it's back to Gabriel. Arsenal players forward here. Zinchenko. Trossard back to Zinchenko. Gets the cross in. And there's Havertz. Oh, a super save by Kaminski. Oh, Havertz was arrowing in and just tipped over by Thomas Kaminski. And Havertz is just making a nuisance of himself. He's had an impressive game himself today. It might have been going over, actually, but Kaminski could not have taken any chances. and it's going to be a corner. And after this corner, we will look at naming the player of the match. Bukayo Saka is taking this corner, and it's short and disappointing by Bukayo Saka, and headed out by Bell, as it's back with Odegaard. Odegaard back to Zinchenko. Zinchenko now just pulled back to Odegaard. Odegaard just looking for the options available. And it's to Trossard! Oh, it's just wide. Good effort by Leandro Trossard. Just swung past the left-hand post of Thomas Kaminski. And very, very close there. Arrowing towards the goal. I think Kaminski had it covered. It's just wide, and we're now just seeing a substitution by Luton. So we're just seeing who's coming on. It looks like it is Jordan Clark that is coming on for Luton Town. We're just seeing who's coming off. It's the captain, Peli Ruddock Mpanzu, who is coming off for the Hatters, as that is their fourth substitution in this game. And it's on the 87-minute mark. So let's name our player of the match now. Our player of the match it's just been brilliant today, really controlling much of what Arsenal has done, and his chances that he's created have been absolutely brilliant. Today's player of the match goes to Arsenal's number 7, Bukayo Saka, and he has just been absolutely brilliant today as Bukayo Saka, and he is the player of the match. And there's been another substitution. Doherty has gone off and Ryan Giles has come on. So that's the 5th substitution for Luton. So Alfie Doherty is off, Ryan Giles is on. And the ball is played forward here. Here's Carlton Morris. Ogbene. Ogbene looking for looking for Ogbene, and Ogbene is adjudged to have fouled Odegaard. It's going to be a free kick, and Mike says Havertz is the definition of a player who's completely changed in the last few weeks, with his confidence rising after a few goals. Agreed, Mike. I think Kai Havertz has vastly improved. I just wish he could do it for Germany, but yeah, he's vastly improved at club level for Arsenal and really has made a difference in the last few games. Odegaard plays the ball over on the far side to Zinchenko. Zinchenko just looking for options available. He finds Declan Rice. Declan Rice finds the aforementioned Kai Havertz. Declan Rice gives the ball to Martin Odegaard. And it's back with William Saliba, back to Odegaard as we tick into injury time here. Just waiting to see how much time is going to be added on. Here's Bukayo Saka, our player of the match, trying to find his way through. That was cleared by Jordan Clark. And Arsenal will have another go as Luton defending resolutely at this point. And here's Ben White. White just drops it back into his own half. And it's Saliba, gives the ball across there to Gabriel. Gabriel on the far side to Zinchenko. Zinchenko again in that advanced position, gives the ball to Leandro Trossard. Trossard just chips the ball over to Kai Havertz. Oh, it just hits him on the back and goes behind for a goal kick. Another change, this time coming for Arsenal. It is... Oh, no, that's not. Actually, I apologise. That's a stoppage time. I thought there was a change coming up there, but that is the stoppage time. There's 6 minutes added on. Very generous for the second half, I thought. But there has been 1 or 2 VAR reviews, so maybe that's where it's coming from, and the substitutes and the goals. But we have 6 minutes stoppage time at the end of this one, as the Luton fans know they desperately need something out of this game. A point against Arsenal will be considered an outstanding result. And here is Gabriel. Gabriel to Odegaard. Odegaard turns beautifully. Good work by Odegaard. And he tries to slip it through to Havertz there, but that is just dispossessed. But it's won back by Ben White. And it's now with Declan Rice. Declan Rice down to Ben White. Ben White, we're ticking down the stoppage time here now to Odegaard. Odegaard now across the ball there to Gabriel, but it takes a deflection off a Luton Town defender, goes behind for a corner, and Arsenal will have another chance now. And it is Bukayo Saka who's coming across to take this, and he's in a bit of a hurry. Arsenal will load up the penalty area. Havertz, Rice, White, Jesus, Zinchenko, they're all in there. And let's see if they can do something from this corner. It's swung in, and there's a header, but it goes all the way back to Bukayo Saka. Saka gives it to Zinchenko. Zinchenko going to get a cross in here. Indeed he does. It's just headed away by Clark. Only as far as Trossard, but that's an excellent block by Chong. Arsenal still have the ball again. And it's launched into the penalty area and headed out by Bell as far as Barkley. Barkley just holding the ball up there. And it's dropped back to Mengi. And Mengi tries to play it off Zinchenko. And it'll be a comfortable pick up by Thomas Kaminski. And he's just going to take all the time in the world now. 48 touches in the box for Arsenal, only 7 for Luton. 3-3. Well, Luton Town have definitely been the definition of taking your chances today. They've certainly done that. And Ben White, Ogbeni just gets in the way of that. Good work by Ogbeni. And if he finds Giles on the far side. Now, can Giles get the cross in? He can. And it's cleared away by Saliba. Ogbeni just shielding that ball out of play. It doesn't seem to have gone out of play and finally comes off. It finally does go out of play, and I think it's come off Bukayo Saka. As we are now 3 minutes into this 6 minutes injury time added on. Well, we've seen goals today. We've seen excitement. This game has had it all. And it's headed away by Ben White and Martin Odegaard as well. But it's picked up again by Barkley. He's under pressure there by Gabriel and Odegaard. He gives it back to Bell. Bell tries to launch the ball forward, but it only goes. It escapes everybody and just goes straight through to David Raya. And he releases it to Declan Rice, who gives it to Zinchenko. Zinchenko drops the ball back to Gabriel, and it's now Saliba. Saliba back to Odegaard. Odegaard. Hold the ball up midway inside the Luton half of the field. It's Odegaard. Back to Rice. Patient build-up by Arsenal. Can they make something of this? It's Bukayo Saka. And it's White who tries to get the cross in, but that's an excellent block by Ogbene. And it's going to be a corner to Arsenal as we are ticking down in stoppage time here. We have 2 minutes left. Can Arsenal grab the goal they need to extend their lead at the top? It is Bukayo Saka with the corner. And it's swung in, and it's just headed out by Osho. Not really far enough, and it's now with Martin Odegaard. Odegaard going back, though. But he turns away from Giles quite wonderfully there, and he gives the ball to Bukayo Saka. Saka gets into the penalty area. Can he get the cross in? Saka all the way to the back post. And it's just flicked out there by Kabore. Kabore, now it goes now back to by Trossard. The cross come in. And they're trying to claim that he'd taken it out of play, but that didn't work. I don't think the referee's going to buy that. Cross coming in there. And actually, he probably did. That should be a corner. So it's going to be, you see, looking these Luton Town fans here just trying to applaud their team on. It's cleared downfield. And it's cleared forward by Gabriel. And that's good work by Mengi. And again by Jordan Clark, cleared downfield, but it only bounces up in the air. And in fact, it's gone out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in. As we are inside the last 30 seconds at Kenilworth Road, we're just seeing if the referee is going to add on any additional time. He's already pointing at his watch, telling them he's going to be adding this time on. So any time wasting that that Kabore is thinking of is going to be added on by the official. It's thrown forward. Clark, and that's good interception that time. And it's back with White. White just gives the ball back to the goalkeeper and cleared downfield. And right into the back there of Zinchenko. Into the back of Trossard there is Kabore. And it's a free kick, and so it should be. That was an unnecessary tackle. We have played the full 6 minutes at this point. At this point now, it's whatever the referee is adding on for discretionary time. And it's launched forward by Trossard, headed out by Bell, only as far as Odegaard. And it's Zinchenko. Zinchenko back to Odegaard. Odegaard launches across and there's a header! It's in! It's in! It's Declan Rice! And Arsenal are 4-3 up! They have stolen at the death! Oh my goodness me! Oh, the cross come in and the header by Declan Rice! And Arsenal in the last seconds of the game! It's 4-3! Oh, I need to take a breath. That was absolutely fantastic. And how heartbreaking for Luton. You can see the players down on their knees. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, that is heartbreaking for Luton. But Declan Rice can celebrate. And what a goal. And I almost blew Russ's ears off. Sorry about that, mate. Sorry about that. I hope your ears are okay. But Declan Rice on 96 minutes and Arsenal are 4-3 up. And sorry if I blew anybody else's ears off as well, but just take a look at this. The cross coming in here by Zinchenko. He dropped it back to Odegaard. It's onside, there's no question about that. And the header is beautifully placed into the corner by Declan Rice. And Arsenal will extend their lead at the top of the summit tonight. And up he goes and just angles it past Kaminsky. Oh, you have to feel sorry for Luton. You really do. But that is the definition of champions, to be able to go to places like Luton, hard games, and that's it. It's full time. It's Luton 3, Arsenal 4, and Arsenal extend the lead at the top of the Premier League this evening. Second half goals in that game. Elijah Adebayo gave Luton the lead tied it up, and then on 52 minutes, Ross Barkley gave Luton the lead. Kai Havertz equalised on 59 to make it 3-3. And then in the 96th minute, Declan Rice's arrowed header into the corner hands Arsenal the victory and the 3 points in one of the best games of the season so far. It has been a privilege to call this game, and it's back to you, Ross.
Wow, wow, wow. Paul James, yes, you almost blew me ears off, but take a bow, my friend. Absolutely incredible commentary on what has been probably the best game this evening and amongst the Premier League games that they've had or so far this midweek. Yes, we've only had 2, but this one has been probably the best one out of the lot that we've seen this evening. Well, that I've seen part of this evening, because what I will say is, in the Wolves-Burnley game, which I saw most of, or all of, before I turned over to put this feed on in the studio where I am this evening, Paul, that was a good game. Wolves deserved the victory, though, I'm afraid to say, Paul, as I know you used to follow Burnley. But Burnley were very, very poor tonight. Didn't deserve anything from the game against Wolves. But boy, oh boy, did Luton Town push Arsenal close tonight, Paul James. And what a game you had. And I was just thinking, when it was 3-3, I thought to myself, Paul has had 2 3-3 games in a row. I wonder.
Fun, Ross.
I was thinking, I was trying to think to myself, is anybody else on the comment show since we started ever had 2 games like that back to back when it was 3-3? I was like, I don't think you have. But Arsenal to win it in the dying embers with a fantastic header. I had to watch the replay a couple of times, Paul, on that winning goal, and VAR got it spot on. Because for me at first, but when I seen the replay, so that's why I want to see the replay before I make a comment on this. The first one, Paul, for me, it looked as though Rice may have just strayed into an offside position. But when I saw the replay, you could clearly see that Rice was being played on. It looked as though he may have just gone a fraction too early. But he was onside, and the correct call was made in the end. But boy, oh boy, Paul, what a game we have witnessed this evening. and what a game you've witnessed as well. Fantastic game by all accounts.
Mm.
And Rob Jones and Luton must feel heartbroken not to get anything out of that, because I know Mike said a few moments ago in the live comments about the game earlier on. He said earlier, in all honesty, it would feel harsh if anyone lost this. And would you agree that it feels harsh that Luton have lost this with the way they've played today, Paul?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I feel sorry for them. They worked hard for a point. They've pushed Arsenal all the way, and it was always going to take a really good bit of quality to break Luton apart. And the ball in by Trossard and was right onto Declan Rice's head, and then Declan Rice just angled that right into the corner in in such a perfect fashion. It always was going to take quality, and they're 5 points clear at the top of the pile tonight. And you could see what it meant to those Arsenal players as well. You could also see what it meant to the Luton players too. But you could see what it meant to those Arsenal players. You know, they they needed that tonight, I think. And Luton, well, they needed it too. And I really could just see the players on their knees there when that goal went in. And I as exciting as something like this is in football that we can broadcast and bring and get excited about. And this is why, as Mike said earlier, why the Premier League is so exciting. At the same time, the effort that those Luton players have put in tonight cannot be questioned at all. The effort, the commitment, and the way that they played cannot be questioned at all. So yes, it does feel harsh for Luton. It does, really.
Yes, and Patrick Vieira thought Arsenal would win it comfortably 3-1. I thought there'd be a goal in it, and I was right. I didn't expect it to be a share of 7 goals in this game, Paul. I thought it would be more like 2-1 to Arsenal, not 4-3, but treated to a fantastic game. We'll get the Manchester Blue commenting there. We'll go to that in a second, or some comments coming in a second. But let's just take a look at the table tonight after the results from all of the other matches that took place this evening. As Paul rightly says, or as you can see on the screen there, Arsenal are now extending their lead to 5 points above Liverpool, 6 above Manchester City now. Going into that, Luton remaining 17th on 9 points, 2 points above the drop zone. They can drop back into the drop zone if Everton pick up all 3 points on Thursday evening. Wolves, with that win over Burnley, move up to 12th, 2 points clear of Crystal Palace, will play tomorrow evening. Burnley remaining 19th. Sheffield United, who sacked Paul Eckenbottom earlier today, they remain bottom of the table on 5 points. Chris Wilder back at Bramall Lane and back in charge for the first time tomorrow. As you can see at the bottom there, Everton deducted 10 points for profit and sustainability rules. Otherwise, Everton would be further up the table than where they are now. They'd be sitting in 13th place right now and a point behind Wolves. So you have to take that into context there as well. But table doesn't lie. Right at this moment in time, Paul, Arsenal probably are the best in the Premier League so far this season.
Yeah, I think so. They've just been very, very impressive. I was surprised that they conceded 3 goals tonight, given how well they've done defensively this season. But yeah, they deserve to be top of the pile right now. And I said last season that they could be challenging for the title, and I was right. And I do think they'll be challenging again this season. Whether or not they've got enough to overturn Manchester City, well, that remains to be seen. But I think at the moment, the way they're playing, then you have to say yes.
Yes, just one quick one. Mark says the reason why he thinks Arsenal celebrated like they did tonight, Paul says he thinks it's because they realised they were nowhere near their best. That's probably right. From what I heard
Mm.
from your commentary, Arsenal probably weren't at the best than what we've seen them this season. We want to ask you a quick question, Paul, and then I'll get your thoughts on Mike's comment in a moment as well. Let's run through that out first. Thank you for getting in touch tonight, Mike, by the way. Hopefully you're doing well, mate, and good to and hopefully you're back behind the microphone very shortly with us here on the commentary hub as well. Just want to ask you, Paul, with regards to the performance tonight that Luton put in, and only losing with that goal very late on. How proud do you think Rob Edwards would be of his team this evening after that performance? And
Well, he has
yeah,
to look at
that
his
result?
team and. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. He has to look at his players and in the face and say, you know what, you did everything that you could do. In the end, football is a very, very cruel sport, and you don't always get what you feel that you might deserve. You don't always get what the fruit yielding from the effort that you put in. It doesn't always work like that.
Yes, absolutely, Paul, absolutely. And just one final one before we do let everybody go. We'll be leaving here at 10:30 tonight, coming towards 10:25 here in the UK. So 5 more minutes on air. Just want to get your thoughts, Paul. I don't think I've asked you this when we discussed it on the preview rev- or the review shows. There's nothing around at the moment. Uh, Chris Wilder back at Sheffield United. He replaces the sacked Paul Eckingbottom. A lot of people were saying it was inevitable that Eckingbottom was getting sacked. How do
Mm.
you see Chris Wilder doing at Sheffield United since he's coming this early on in the season on a deal till the end of 2025? How well do you see him doing the rest of this season, potentially beyond that, knowing because majority of the squad that was that's at Bramall Lane right now is was the players he had when he was at Bramall Lane before. How well do you think he's going to do at Bramall Lane? And do you think it was the right time for Paul Eckingbottom to go? And Mike, if you're still listening, those two same questions too. Do you think it was the right time for Eckingbottom to go? And what do you think of Chris Wilder returning?
Well, I think in terms of Heckingbottom going, I don't think there was any option. They really did hit rock bottom when they lost 5-0 to Burnley. But I think I think Chris Wilder. I don't know what is driving him to go back there. I don't know if he thinks he can make that team into something that is worthy of Premier League survival or turn them into something better than what Paul Heckingbottom has done. I don't know. But I honestly, if it was me in Wilder's position, I wouldn't be taking that job. I would be running as far away from Bramall Lane as I could get, because it's a mammoth task in charge of that team, an absolute this a Goliath task. And I don't think. I mean, I understand you sack a manager when things aren't going well. I get it. I do. But at the end of the day, that what's left now and what they have to do, because they did sack Wilder to begin with, didn't they? And we've had this discussion before, Ross, me and you, about this. You know, they fire a manager, they bring in a replacement, and they say, "Oh, that didn't work out very well. Let's fire him and bring in back the guy that we sacked." And
Yeah,
it just.
he's happened to Crystal Palace when they go to Roy Hodgson, fish
Mm,
someone else, and that didn't work out. So they sacked him and fished Roy Hodgson back.
you see, this is what I mean. It's like
And
in
with
no other business does this
it's been
happen.
working with Crystal Palace or with Roy Hodgson with how they've been playing recently. There's another in the bottom half of the table, good performances wise.
Mm.
I don't think there's anybody better who could get anything out of the Crystal Palace than Roy Hodgson can, and maybe that's where the Sheffield United owner thinks in regards of Chris Wilder. Just read some quotes from Wilder's spoken today at a press conference. He said, "I didn't have to think about it. People know what this club means to me, and the task now is to try and provide a boost to improve our current situation." There was a relationship strain with the manager, with Chris Wilder and Prince Abdullah, who was the chairman. Wilder went on to say, "My relationship with Prince Abdullah and the board was repaired a long time ago. After some time passed from my initial departure, we spoke, met in person, and there was an amicable ending. There were certain things that I shouldn't have been involved in, but things over time have been repaired, and there's a reason Prince Abdullah wants me to come back to the football club. He feels I'm the best man to do the job, and I'm delighted he thinks that. The biggest positive for me is the relationship between him and myself is good." Prince Abdullah spoke earlier on today to another outlet, media outlet, and said Wilder was the best guy on the planet, on planet Earth, to take over Sheffield United right now. In his statement by the LMA, which is the League Managers Association, Eckingbottom, who left Bramall Lane and was sacked today, this is what he had to say on departing. We'll maybe just run over the half past 10 deadline will come off around about 10 for, so you can have your say on whether both new Chris Wilder's had to say and Eckenbottom had to say, and the owners had to say there as well. Paul, again, you have your thoughts on those in a second. Paul Eckenbottom said he thanked everybody at the club and said he was leaving with many great memories created by many great people. He added, "The challenges and success have made for such a good couple of years, a special couple of years. It has been an honour to lead the team out during this period. Message for the fans: thank you for your support. You are what made the journey so special, and have many fond memories of the players and fans celebrating our victories together. I'm all in on a match day will always hold a special place in my heart." Since leaving Bramall Lane, Wilder has had spells at Middlesbrough and Watford, and Wilder went on to say, this is what Wilder said: "I'm going to give my all, and I'm more enthusiastic and determined than I've ever been. Sheffield United are getting me and my best as well. For me, this is a huge challenge personally. I'm rubbing my hands together to try and help the club get out of the position we are in. We're up against it. Everyone in the world thinks we're done and dusted. We've always had that underdog tag, that mentality. I have come back to help the football club. I've been given a great opportunity to hopefully make a difference. It's going to be a long, hard season. I know that we are going to have some difficult moments. We're going to have to suffer. I am into the players and hopefully we can get a reaction." With Chris, so you've heard the thoughts of Chris Wilder, you've heard the thoughts of Paul Eckenbottom, you've heard what Prince Abdullah has said as well, the club's owner, with regards to Chris Wilder. What's your thoughts on that, having heard from Wilder, Eckenbottom, and the club's owner?
Well, my thoughts are this. I wonder what the owners said to Wilder when they wanted him back. Did they say, "We're terrible, we're sorry"? I mean, it's. I think obviously, Sheffield United is very close to Wilder's heart, and he obviously is going in there with the intention to try to correct things. It's going to be an almighty challenge for him. I don't know, Ross. I would like to think that they would he'd be able to make a difference, because I'm always touched when a manager who feels very strongly and committed to one club can go in there and make a difference at that club. Because I think the relationship between manager and club is very rarely based on loyalty and love. So I think it's always heartwarming to see a manager that can do that. But I just, I'm sorry, Ross. I don't see it happening, mate. I don't see it happening.
Yes, that's what my next point. My next question was, I was going to ask you a question next. Do you think Sheffield United could step in? You've just answered there, you don't think it'll happen. What I will want to ask you as well, which is I've seen that people have been asking this question majority of the day today on social media, and I wanted to ask somebody regarding this. Do you think Paul Eckenbottom overachieved, Paul, by winning promotion to the Premier League last season with Sheffield United? And do you think it would have been beneficial for him to stay in the Championship for another season?
No, I don't think you can ever look at it as that mentality. You always have to go out to win. If you're not going out to win and you're not going out to be the best and beat the best, don't put on your boots. Stay at home. Because unless you're going out to be the best, and it doesn't matter who you are, and this is why I've always had arguments with this case at Burnley. I mean, I can tell you, as a Burnley fan, you always kind of want Burnley to do well. But here's the problem. You get told by chairman and board, "Oh, we're little old Burnley. You can't expect us to get promoted. You can't expect us to maintain a position in the Premier League. You can't do this. You can't do that." No, it is a fan's God-given right to want their club to be successful and to want them to win. In my mind, no, I never believe a team has gone up too early. I believe, yes, they were out of their depth, and yes, it's been a bad season for them so far, and will probably end in relegation. But that's part of winning and losing. That's part of football. Burnley are going to get relegated this season. They're not staying up with that team. There's not a hope in hell. But the fact is, they have been promoted, and they've won, and they've had successful times, and they've had low times. That's why we have 4 divisions in the English Football League. Teams go up, teams go down. It's the nature of things.
It is indeed, Paul. It is indeed. Well, that's all we've got time for then here on the Commentary Hub this evening. Just coming up towards 25 to 11 on this third on this Tuesday evening. A big thank you to Paul James for his excellent commentary as always. Hopefully we'll be back very, very shortly with some more live coverage. Check out on our social media page at Commentary Live 1 to find out when we'll next be going live over the next couple of days or so. Big thank you to those who have tuned in today. We really do appreciate it and really do appreciate your time listening to us today. From myself and from Paul, very, very good evening to you all and have a great rest of your Tuesday, whatever you're up to and whatever time of day it is. From all our team here, it's a very goodbye to you all. Goodbye, guys.